Because I've been through worse, bound to lay those signs. And no, I don't wanna do it back and forth. I know that you've been through it back and forth. No, I don't wanna do it. Okay. Oh, baby, not me not being prepared and looking a mess and a fickle and a fool. Not me using this as a mirror and I'm finna be all up in people's face with my face crusty. Oh well, ain't nobody in here right now. So and if you are in here, hey, you got a chance to see my crusty face. How's everybody doing tonight? How are y'all hussies? Kanark. Hey Kanark. Is that how you say it? I hope it is. Because that's what I said. And I'm sorry if it's not. Hey Blake. Hey Catherine. Uh-oh. Blake is here, so I'm finna get gaslit. Hello, Tyrante. Oh, thank you. Thank you for the heart, Wayne. What do you do here? I do a lot of things. Some things are legal, some things are not. It depends on which state you go to. And it depends on a lot of factors, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. Because I don't want to tell too much on myself. Because I don't want you to go to like whatever. There is no hot chocolate tonight. I'm not drinking any hot chocolate tonight. Because I think that may be why I got sleepy. Because I feel like I had too much sugar in it for some reason. It's like the little pods, but I feel like it made me hyper or extra. Girl, I don't know what I'm talking about. I feel like that's what made me sleepy the other day. Plus the fact that I didn't go to sleep. So it was a lot of factors factoring into that. But I do want some hot chocolate. No, I'm not gonna make any. I'm not gonna do it. See, I don't know what I should do. No. Because then I would have to stand up. And y'all would be like, he a big body. And then my feelings will be hurt. And I would be like, no thank you. So, back to the original question. Like in regards to the charm show. I feel like I don't know how to answer that question, but I feel like I should know how to answer that question. I make charmed content. I make little skits. I do little skits. I do a little voiceover series called Ratchet Charmed. That one doesn't come out as regular as I kind of would want it to, but a lot of work goes into that, so I'm not able to like sit down and like do it like I wanted to. What do I do in relation to charm? I have charm discussions. I'll post random little videos and be like, and just say different things or whatever. And then I do these lives. So a lot of it is really just me kind of starting to like do conversational type stuff. That's what I tend to focus on because I feel like that's what I'm the best at, is doing like conversational type situations. But that's just me. Like I like to pick a topic and go from there. I don't even know if Nick is still in this room. Probably not, because that happens every time. Is I start answering the question and they leave. Anyway, so let's get into tonight's topic. And yes, we do actually have a topic for tonight, y'all. Like I actually have a topic that I want to discuss, and I'm so proud of myself. So I made a video earlier today, and something made a noise. What made a noise? Something happened. Okay. I don't know what happened. Anyway, so I made a video earlier today, and I said that I asked the question about why Prue was the only one. Okay, shut up, Galen. Let me get my thoughts together. This is why I don't look at comments while I'm trying to talk, because then I get distracted and it's too much happening at one time. Oh, so when Prue was the only one that had, oh, thank you, Katie. I appreciate that. When Prue was the only one who had like I say active, I don't mean active, I mean offensive power, like an offensively active power, like she could come in the room and start flinging people, whatever. People perceived her as doing too much and being extra and whatever else. But then Piper, when she had the ability to be the one to come into a room and start flinging people, or doing whatever she was going to do with the power, then it was like, oh, she's bae, she's mother, she's this, she that, she solo, she serves. And so the question I posed to everybody was why they think that is. Because my personal theory is that the difference is the difference between them is that Prue came in sort of being like boom, but then Piper was like here, and so then we get to see her kind of like go up to being boom, right? And I think that that's why people probably relate to her more. And J Mimi 69 said, when did people agree that Prue was extra? Baby, you would be shocked at the things that people say about these characters as if they are real people. You would be absolutely shocked. I've had people argue me down that Prue was a horrible big sister and that Piper was the better big sister. And my thing with that is that I feel like using words like better and best and things like that are kind of insane, because everything is very much gonna be like your opinion. It's subjective. It's not. There is no like this character was this, which is why I don't care for talking about characters sometimes, because I feel like that's what people do. Like, people don't ever just like watch the show and say, I like this character because of this. They just have to say, I hated Prue. I couldn't stand her. Oh my god, Paige was so annoying. She this and that. I couldn't even watch it because of her. Oh, this girl, just watch the show. Just watch the show. Just watch the show. Just watch the show. Like, if you have one that you don't like, that's fine. Like, I'm not ever gonna tell you that you have to like every single character. But my thing is to actively go out of your way to talk about how horrible this one character is. I kind of think is insane a little bit, because I used to let me double back and let me read myself for a second. I used to very much, I had gotten through a phase where like I'm throwing shade, I'm gonna read, I'm gonna whatever, and then I really started to think about it and realize like, oh, thank you for the heart thing. And I really started to realize like, what is that getting me? What turn this on? Turn it on. Where is that getting me in watching this show and understanding and seeing the characters? You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm doing all of that, and I am saying whatever it is I'm saying about this character. And now what? And now what? Oh, it did something again. Thank you for whatever y'all sent for the. I think that's what did it. So, girl, whatever it was, that's what did it. Agape. Oh, well, thank you for that. You're adorable too. But anyway, so That's my thing, is like watching the show. And that's why I really, really wish that I hadn't asked that question, because I feel like I already knew what the answer was going to be. And people are like, Prue was so unlikable. I couldn't stand her. She was a know it all. Well, baby, what do you want me to say to that? What do you want my response to be? You tell me what you want me to say. You write it down on a piece of paper, slip it to me, and then tell me what you want me to say in response to what you have said. And I think I feel like that because it's, like I said, it's one thing to dislike a character, but I feel like when you just don't have a critique of a character, you just say you don't like them. There was somebody, if I find that picture, I am going to put it somewhere. I may have had a screenshot, and I wasn't gonna put that person on blast, but somebody literally, I took a picture one of ooh, girl, what are we doing? Somebody said that not me trying to get to it, and it's not. Okay, I'm gonna come back to it. I'm gonna come back to it. So, oh wait, here we go. Somebody said on Instagram one day that they hated the Power of Two episode. Here we go. Here we go. Let's see if you can see it. The Power Two. This was something something. They're basically saying there wasn't as much Piper in this episode. She had 3 scenes. As a result, I only have shots of Prue and Phoebe together. Basically, what they're saying in is this is a lot of words, but I wanted to put it up on the screen because I ain't need nobody saying this is another whatever episode. And you can see towards the bottom, they're saying there's a major lack of Piper content. This is strange to me. And let me go ahead and change it because I don't need nobody saying I'm throwing shade at nobody. Y'all ain't finna gaslight me, because I know how this works. Let me see. And take a screenshot of it, I don't care. Let's see. Girl, not me trying to be cute and then can't even get back to what I'm trying to. Being an old man, it can't work. Anyway, so the reason that I shared that and shared instead of just trying to like say it from memory is because I think that it is strange to watch a show like Charmed that was very much based on like the sisterhood, and having a sisterhood means that not just one person is going to have connections to other people. Everybody's going to be connected. And the thing about the Power of Two is that is repairing that episode, I feel like, goes towards repairing the rift between Prue and Phoebe, right? And so to say that it's a meh episode because Piper is not in it is crazy. I'm sorry. That is ridiculous to me, because it's one thing to have a favorite character on a TV show, right? So it's like if Billy was your favorite Power Ranger and Billy is not in this episode, you may be like, this episode doesn't have like the feel to it that I would like because Billy's not in it, but you're still gonna watch it, right? A show like Charmed is literally an ensemble between the sisters. And so to pick one specifically, and this could go for any of them, really. This could go for any of them. Like, even if you say you don't like Look Who's Barking because Prue isn't really in it, I would find that strange because the plot of but the difference between that is I feel like people would like that because Piper took a more active role in it. And that's the point I was trying to get to. Is now, am I saying that anyone has said this? No. What I'm pointing out is the difference between those 2 episodes. Piper is not really in the Power of Two. She has little scenes here and there, and then, it's mainly focused on the rift between Phoebe and Prue. Look Who's Barking, Prue is not really in it. She's a dog for most of it. Phoebe is a banshee. But Piper is the one who's kind of like finding herself, because she's like, oh, I just tag along and freeze things and I can't even do that, right? And so, but then we see her kind of like stepping up and trying to make choices, and she summons Cole and, that whole little whoop-de-doo. And so my thing with that It's just that I feel like it's strange to not want to see the other characters develop, or say that an episode like The Power of Two is meh because one character is not in it. That is crazy to me. That is crazy to me. And I think that's part of why sometimes I get really, and if I'm being 100% honest, this is like a reflection moment for me, because I've talked on this channel before, like, about how why I get frustrated sometimes. And that part, go watch Law and Order. I think the reason I get frustrated sometimes is because of things that I have going on with myself. So I get very upset kind of when I feel like, hey Brittany, hey, if y'all don't follow Charmed Collector, go follow her. She's right there. Brittany. It's Brittany. Charmed Collector 1329. If you don't follow her, go do it right now. Like, just hit her name and go follow her because I said so. Not because I said so. But anyway, I just feel like it's so weird. And then when people try to go back and retroactively be like, Piper was always the baddest, she was handling business from day one, because they want that fantasy to fit in their head. Baby. Piper didn't even want to be there. She didn't even want to be there. You cannot tell me that from day one Piper was handling business, because she didn't want to be there. It has nothing to do with like, oh, Piper was a horrible character. Not that. It's literally that she did not want to be there, and she made that known, and she showed us that she did not want to be there. And that's not a bad thing. That's the thing. I think when people hear me say that, they think I'm being like, oh, Piper wasn't, she didn't. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, like, if I became a witch today, if you told me today that Galen was a witch, count me out. It's given very Zazu. If this is where the monarchy is headed, count me out. I'm done. I'm done. I'm not doing that. No. You telling me I gotta be a witch and fight demons and save people? Girl. And the only thing I'm trying to do is live my best life. And you think that I'm gonna? No, I'm not doing it. And that's what I mean when I say, like, it's a, it made me make a noise. It made me make a noise. Thank you, Taronte. Thank you. I think that's what the noise is. Okay, thank you. Thank you. I feel like I would be down to be a witch, but I would want to be a witch that, like, I want to be like a Bewitched or a Sabrina the Teenage Witch type witch. Like, I want to just be able to, like, go to another galaxy or something, or like go sit on another planet or something like that. I'm not trying to fight no demons. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. And that's what I mean when I say, like, it is okay. It is okay to hate Prue. No, let me stop. Baby, because shut up, Galen, don't say that. Baby, because Paige thought she was eating. When my parents died, I was alone, and I was, no, what did she say? She was like, when my parents died, I was alone, and I hated them for it. It is okay to hate Prue. Baby, a scene and a moment in time. Do you hear me? But anyway. How I can't scream like I want to because I don't live by myself, so I can't do the Piper part. But when she was like, how dare you? How dare you go and leave me? Baby, she was putting her whole everything into that. She said, listen, we ready to fight. She was ready to go. Oh God, I'm so tickled at that. Anyway, and then when Leo was like, honey, it's okay. Leo's so useless. Of course, the one thing he would say is, it's okay. And the Piper was like, no, not okay. And you know, that's my favorite part to do, because she was like, no, it's not okay. She risked her life every day. What did she say? Okay, wait. She said she risked her life every day, and she never thought about what would happen to me and Phoebe if something happened to her. How could she think I could live without her? Baby, listen. And it's not funny because it's not like a funny scene, but I just always get caught up in little stuff. And then especially because while she is having like this mental breakdown, she is having like a mental breakdown in front of these random assortment of grave sites, and and Paige is just standing there, and she's looking up at Prue's little plaque, and she's like, "Girl, I would have left. You got me messed up. I'm not gonna stand there and watch that. I'm not gonna stand there and watch that. It ain't no way. It ain't no way I'm gonna stand there and watch that. I got to go." And then, oh, you know what? Let's talk about that. Because it was the fact that Phoebe, low key, quiet as it is kept, tried to make that moment about her. Now, did she actually do that? It's debatable. I feel like it's the way you see it, because it could have just been her putting her psychology skills to use, whatever. But when she was like, she's there, she's like, "You blame me. You think I abandoned you." Phoebe, shut up. Newsflash, it's not always about Phoebe. Like, yes, the island has voted. The island has voted, and they want you to go. That is what the island has said. I was like, girl, first and foremost, that was guilt talking. That's what that was. That was guilt. That wasn't nothing else but guilt. You know what you did. You know what you did. And I ain't gonna say that. Danielle said we really getting mad at these fictional characters. Are y'all talking about something in the chat that I missed? Because you can't be talking about me. Wait, what you talk about? What y'all talking about? I'm confused. I be so behind. I feel like, but we do feel like they're real. Y'all, I'm just playing. Like, when I tell you I'm just joking, don't take me seriously. I promise you. You'll know if I'm upset because I'll block you. Like, about something that somebody said, it's like, anyway. Point being, I was like, Phoebe, girl, hush. Phoebe, hush. She, and then what was funny was that she was really trying to act stressed, right? And so when she was like, what did she say? She was like, Piper's a fury. Cole is like, she was trying to act like she was just so scattered. And then she was like, "Oh, baby, you're bleeding." Phoebe, attend. Come on. We're over here. We need you to get from right here and come here. This is what we need. We need you right here, not right here. I said, girl, not they got Phoebe trying to act scattered. It's funny because it's like, I know what they were trying to do with that moment, and they were trying to have Phoebe be overwhelmed by everything and have her like struggle a little bit to try to keep it together with Piper gone, and now she's having to lead Paige, things like that. Like, I get what they were trying to do. Please don't get me wrong. Like, I understand narratively where we were going with that. My thing is, if you want me to believe that Phoebe is stressed, I need Phoebe to be stressed and not just have one little moment of whatever and then be like, we will orb, we will levitate, we will juggle knives if we have to. Because the only thing she was trying to do was keep Cole safe. That's it. Like, that's all she was trying to do. It's like, she wanted Piper back. Don't get me wrong. Of course she wanted to save Piper. But her main goal was to keep Cole safe. Are we okay? Like, are we okay? Anyway. You know what, Tyrante? I've seen a lot of people say that people grieve differently. This is my thing with that statement, to say that people grieve differently, because that's a very valid point and a very true point. The problem with Charmed in that regard is that they did. Oh, not I dropped the. My problem with Charmed in that regard is that they did what they always do, which is miss an opportunity to tell us that. Like, you don't have to hold my hand and tell me everything. Sometimes it's okay for us to like infer something. But there are other times where if you want me to feel the depth of a story, you need to tell me that. Like, I needed a scene where, a couple of scenes really, where somebody, it doesn't even matter who, it literally does not matter who. I would want it probably to be Piper, but it doesn't matter if it was Leo, as useless as he is, or Paige. But I needed one of them to say Phoebe is going to break at some point. And we're kind of like, okay, well, why would somebody say something like that? I think it needed to be Piper specifically. Let me go back. Let me double back. I do think it needed to be Piper, because I think even in her being wrapped up, I think that would still go to show that she cared enough about Phoebe to notice what was going on with her. And I needed a scene where, for me, I'm not saying that this would have enhanced the show, I'm talking about for Galen, a scene where Piper is like talking to Leo, or even Paige, probably Leo, because you know she hated Paige when she first got there. And she is like, Phoebe is gonna crack at any moment. And they're like, what are you talking about? Because imagine if we have Piper in Hell Hath No Fury, right? And Mama is bottling up all these emotions. She's trying to channel it into these demons, whatever else. And Phoebe is the one who's trying to keep it together, right? Like, she's like, they told us that she's doing, that she's trying to keep it together. And instead of getting a moment where she cries over, she did not hate Paige. She didn't know her. Okay, baby. Okay. All right. You have fun with that. Anyway, moving on. Piper should have been like, Phoebe's gonna crack at any moment. And Leo, or even Paige, because whoever she's talking to, it probably would have been Leo, maybe even Victor. Oh, this would have been a good moment to put Victor in the story. This would have been a good moment to put Victor in the story. And I could see Piper talking to Victor and being like, Phoebe is gonna crack. And Victor's like, what do you mean? Because, you know, at this point, remember, Victor still really does not know them as adults. Like, he's getting to know them, but he doesn't know the intricacies of who they are as people. And so Piper is telling him, like, when Phoebe is really stressed, or when she's suppressing something or whatever else, she starts to clean a lot. Because, you know, they said it kind of in passing where they're like, you don't clean. And she's like, I'm just trying to keep busy, or whatever she said. And I was like, okay, I need an episode of like, why are y'all trying to tell me that this woman did not hate that woman? My God in heaven. Y'all know it's okay to say she didn't like her, right? It's okay. We're not saying that she hated her and wanted her to, you know, be unalived or nothing. It's like, she just didn't like her when she first got there for a specific reason. Like, there was a specific reason that she did not like her. It's not like she just was a horrible person. I'm not saying Piper was just some horrible person who, you know, whatever. Who, child, y'all, okay, we just gonna move on. I'm not gonna get caught up on that. I'm not even gonna get caught up on that. You know what? You're right, person, Shannon. You know, people say hate is a strong word. That That is, I'm right there with you on that one. That is true. I think what I mean when I say hate her is in the same way Paige was telling her it's okay to hate Prue. That same vein. Like, did she hate her and she just wanted to jug in her neck? No. But imagine, now mind you, let's go back and let's double back and reiterate this. All of this is happening within a week or two. Like, within a couple of weeks of Prue dying and them burying her, we now have a new sister. And we are now having to get to know her and keep her alive. And basically, she's like a mix of an innocent and a sister. So it's like, it's okay to say she didn't like her because she didn't. She really felt like, why are you here? And and let's throw in the fact that Piper didn't even want to be a Charmed One anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, she thought all of this was done. Maybe not in a good way, but she's thinking like, we done. I'm not a Charmed One anymore. I didn't move. That literally does not exist. And so now she's in a predicament where not only do the Charmed Ones come back and she has to fight the good fight against these demons and all of this, but she also has to get to know this person. Baby, I wouldn't fool with it either. I'm just being 100% real with you. I probably wouldn't talk to Paige either. I wouldn't even want to look her in her face. Because now destiny is playing in my face. And they trying to tell me I have to get to know. No. 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 Not in the year of our Lord 2001. To me. To me. So that's what I mean when I say, I think sometimes I probably need to go back and kind of explain what I mean, because I threw that out there. But anyway, so yeah, that was a good moment to explain what I meant, because I was just kind of using the word. So I get it. I get it. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, Phoebe. Oh yeah. Oh, we on it. We on it today, y'all. I'm on it. This brain is sharp. So we were talking about Phoebe, and I was saying that, like, when Phoebe was cleaning up and they were like, oh, you don't clean, and then we just kind of moved on from that. I think in the same way that we got an entire episode devoted to Piper feeling repressed and not having an outlet for the anger she was feeling, I think we needed the same thing for Phoebe. Because in the same way that Piper was acting the complete opposite of her usual self, and she's being proactive with these demons, she's literally hunting demons down because she blames evil for what happened. That was a good development moment for her, because Piper is acting completely out of character. And so I think it would have been really important to have an episode where they're basically switching roles. And Phoebe is not wanting to fight demons. We're not whatever. I'm good with that. Because I feel like there wasn't, this is me talking, right? I feel there was not a resolution to them setting up that Phoebe was still mourning. I feel like they focused a lot on Piper because Piper was the closest to Prue. So it makes sense. But I do think that there was no real payoff to Phoebe in that episode, because by the end of the episode, Phoebe was on the ground. Piper had thrown her. Okay, fine. And then the next morning, Piper's like, I've slept better than I have in a while. And, Phoebe is just kind of talking like, girl, we had us a time. Well, is Phoebe okay? Like how is Phoebe processing this? Because Mama was having a little mini breakdown for a second, and then we just moved on. So again, what I would have done personally is they had Charm stresses me out as a person who, okay, so Jada Brett is making a good point. I think Phoebe's thought process was that they both couldn't break down at the same time. I do agree with that. The problem is there was no follow up to it because Piper had her breakdown moment and then Phoebe just moved on. So for me, as a viewer and as a person who likes to have more of an immersive story, I would have had some time dedicated to Phoebe because I think that I think what was really important for them that they didn't do would have been to give us a resolution to her and Prue's story of getting closer and then that being ripped away. You know what I mean? Like, because imagine, okay, so her and Prue hadn't talked, before she got back in season 1 for a while. And so then they reconnected because of the whole Charmed legacy. And even then, it took them a while. And then by the end of season 3, they they were good, but it was still kind of like tense because of the Cole situation and whatever else. So what I would have loved to see from the character of Phoebe is for there to have been an episode where Phoebe is telling Paige about their history, her and Prue's history. And Paige is like, it's so great to see that you guys were able to come back together, things like that. Because I think Paige would have been a perfect POV for Phoebe. Because I think Phoebe had a sister in Paige, like from the jump. Like, even though she was still getting to know her, I feel like she still had a good relationship with her. So it would have been nice to see, like, Phoebe be like, yeah, we did get close, but I never had a chance to tell her how much I appreciated her. Or I never had a chance to tell her how sorry I am about the Cole situation. Or I never had a chance, because I think Phoebe and Prue had a completely different connection than Piper and Prue did. And it makes sense that Piper was struggling so hard. Not when you pay attention to the person. So yeah, like Mia said, they had a lot of unfinished business. And I think it would have been nice to, like, you don't have to resolve that. Like, I'm not looking for you to resolve it as a writer. I'm looking for you to tell me that that's there. And that's one of Phoebe's biggest regrets of her life. And be like, I could see Phoebe saying something like, I've never regretted any decision I made. But the one thing I regret is not fully healing the rift with Prue. Now, even if we as a viewer are saying, like, but y'all did, y'all did mend your rift, you could have Phoebe from her point of view. I think that's the thing that would be really important to say, is that it's from her perspective, that the last year after she lied about Balthazar, that put, kind of put that rift back between them. Now, whether that's true or not is one thing, but you could say that's how Phoebe is feeling, in the same way that Piper hated Evil because it took Prue from her, and she was trying to hunt just any evil being, trying to find some kind of mental resolution to that. And it would have been a good, I think, character building moment to have Phoebe go through that, because we've never seen Phoebe just like shut down towards something. We've seen her get kind of flighty. We've seen her be like, but we've never seen Phoebe just completely shut down. We've never seen Phoebe be the Piper of the family. And I think that it would have been really a really good moment for her to have that with Prue. Because think about what happened after Grams died, right? So after Grams died, what did she do? She immediately ran. Like, she immediately was like, Grams was the only thing keeping us together. I'm gone. Like, I'm out. I'm finna go. And was that because she was hurting? Was that because she felt like now she could leave? We don't know. But the point I'm trying to make is that she immediately left. And Drea Jackson is saying, I thought we seen that when she chose her sisters over Cole. I think you're absolutely 100% right. We do see that. This again, I'm gonna say what I said again, because I fully stand by this. Charmed is a show that missed opportunities to tell us as well as show us. Like, I would have loved in girl, what is the name of that episode? Womb Raider. I would have loved in Womb Raider if Phoebe had said, I something. I would feel like we can't just have Phoebe keep running from stuff and disconnecting and not addressing why on screen. Like, the fact that she chose Cole is fine. I also need you to say that, I need her to say that she felt like this was her shot at a family. And Piper be like, girl, what you mean? And she's like, we lost Prue. And Cole chose me after everything that we've, been through. And I just felt like it was my time. You know what I mean? Yeah, come on, Chantal being your cousin. Yes, let me follow you. Tell my girl I said hey. So you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it would have been a good character building moment, but Charm never would just, you don't have to tell me everything. You don't have to sit there and have 6 episodes devoted to telling me this. I just think that it would help you have a moment of growth for this character in universe. Because here's the thing. Here's what we run into, right? Is 20 years later, we have people still arguing about whether Phoebe was right or wrong. Oh no, Phoebe was, I would have done the same thing because Cole, he and I think, shut up, Caitlin, that was so stupid. But I think that it would have been important to really set up why she was doing what she was doing so that you can say, okay, she was wrong, but this is why she did it. So I understand why she did it. I still just don't agree with it. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to explain everything in depth and detail, but there needs to be some payoff to it. And even if they chose to go into season 5 with it, that's fine. Because I think that would have made sense why Phoebe completely turned on a dime and was like, Cole is the one who brought me into this world of evil. Cole is the one who did. Cole. Everything is Cole. Cole turned me evil. Cole made me into the queen of the underworld. Cole made me this, and he's just a bother on my life. Okay, well, baby, a year ago, he was the bee's knees. And a year ago, we were ready to go wherever we needed to with him. So, how did we get from point A to point B? Like, at a certain point, it would have been important to say, Phoebe, yes, Cole lied to you and he manipulated you. You chose to do this. You don't even have to have somebody try to call her out on it. That's the thing. You don't even have to try to have someone call her out on it. You could literally have Phoebe feel guilty. And that's why she hates Cole. Because she feels like, I am the one who made this mess for myself. And I had to choose to get out of it. And I feel horrible that I left y'all. And then you could even tie that back to what she said to Piper and be like, I left y'all just like I left you with Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying? Charmed would always be right there. They would be right there. They would have it in their hands. They would have the story. They would have the story. They would have the means, the motive. They would have the dialogue to back up what they're saying. They would have it right here and then say, never mind. We're not going to go there. We're not going to do that. Now, also, take this into account. It is very easy for me to say that in retrospect. And it is very easy for me to, in retrospect, say, this is what they should have done. Sometimes when you're in the moment, you're not always going to think of something. And it will be like later on, you'll be like, dang, I should have done this. And that's a thing. That's a thing. I just feel like Charmed had that problem all the time. They would constantly go through things where they could have just done one extra thing. Always and forever. There's just one extra little thing they could have done. And if just that one little devotion to something would have given a layer to it, instead of just like me having to infer that Phoebe chooses Cole in season 5 because she's hurt over Prue. I need you to connect those dots for me with the character, because then when as the character grows, I'm growing, my mindset is growing with her. And as she is saying, I feel like I did this because I felt like I was losing everybody. And I had to hold on to the one little piece of happiness that I felt like I had. Then I could be like, oh, gotcha. That makes sense. And so now I may still be mad at Phoebe for what she did, but I have that frame of reference. And I can say, Phoebe is a person that was hurting, and this is how it was expressed. This is what she chose to do. It would be right there every time, right there, and they'd move on from it. And you know, I am not in any shape, form, or fashion comparing Buffy and Charmed when I say this. I did see someone bring Buffy up, and I'm not trying to compare the two shows and say Buffy is better than Charmed. Let me make that perfectly clear, because I don't need nobody being like, well, he said Buffy was better. That's not what I'm saying. Buffy handled, the Buffy writing team handled things in a deeper way, in a more kind of like meaningful way. And what I mean by that is they would come back to something. They would say, this, like, perfect example, right, is when Buffy was talking to Willow and Xander, and she brought up the fact that Xander had told her that Willow said, you know, kick Angel's ass or whatever. And Willow was like, what you talking about? I never said that. What they did in that moment, and that's a good example of what I mean when I say you don't have to always hold my hand and tell me something. But by bringing that back up, what they did was they let us know Buffy made a life-changing decision based on a lie. You get what I'm saying? Like, even though she had to do it in the end anyway, because taking Angel out was going to be the only thing that could close the Hellmouth or whatever that was, it still reminded us, like, oh, Willow don't even know what she's talking about. Buffy really did this because she was going off of misinformation. She was going off of a lie. Little things like that. Or in season 4, when they were having like their big kind of like whatever you want to use, like their friendship group was melting down or whatever. And there's a scene where Buffy, who is completely oblivious to everything going on around her, is like, things are fine, you know, or whatever she was saying. She was like, we're good. I didn't know that there were any issues. And Willow was like, things haven't been good for a while. Didn't you see that? Buffy really didn't. She didn't see it. Like, even if she did, she was pushing it down. It wasn't even like occurring to her. Oh, thank you for the 2024. It wasn't even like occurring. Like, yeah, 2 plus 2 was not equaling 4. It was equaling fish. And they call that out in the story. You know what I mean? Like, they call that out in the story in that moment. I do think that there are some other things that they lay out pretty well, But people want to ignore that, and I am going to give this example, and I'm going to move on. But that's when Dawn and the other and everyone kicked Buffy out of the house. I think that a lot of people like to conveniently forget that the first have been laying the seeds of doubt in the group for quite some time, but that's a topic for a different day. That's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about Charmed. Anyway, point being with all of this, and with me saying all of this, is that Buffy would set things up, but there would be a payoff to it in some shape, form, or fashion. They would come back to it and they would say something. They would tell us how something affected the story. There was always something, even if it wasn't the hugest like revelation. I didn't say I am gaslighting you or that I'm not gaslighting you, Blake. You know what I mean? It's like, that's what I mean. Is that Charmed, I feel like, would set things up in some instances really well, but would never connect the dots, and would never come back to say anything. Like, there has been, I heard somebody say one time that Phoebe didn't get a premonition about Cole when he was Balthazar, not when he was the source, because those are two different instances, two completely different instances. Why can't I say that word? When he was the source, the seer told us that there were magical protections to keep Phoebe from having a premonition. That was explicitly stated. That was said in the show so that we understood why she was not having a vision of Cole being the source. It was explicitly stated. When he was Balthazar, there was nothing of the sort. No one ever, at no moment was there any indication that he was under had any kind of magical protection. So what I think would have been important later on, once she finds out that he is Balthazar, you could have had somebody realize Phoebe may have been, because I remember someone said this, and I don't remember who it was. I don't recall who it was, or I would definitely give them a shout out in this, that Phoebe was suppressing seeing anything negative about him, and that was affecting her power, and so she wasn't able to see that he was Balthazar, because subconsciously she was trying to suppress any kind of negativity towards him. Boom. Boom. Storyline right there. A whole story in and of itself. That opens up the door for so much, because then we could get into her daddy issues a little bit more. We could start talking about how Victor wasn't really there for her, and so now she sees these red flags in men, but she's just trying to find some love, and so she just goes ahead and does it anyway. We could say that, when she was with Clay was a criminal and she knew about it, and she just chose not to even address it. Something. Give me something. Like, did it have to be a big moment? No. It could have been half an episode. It could have been something like that. But then it would explain how Phoebe was engaging in coitus with this man and never had a premonition. Like, Charmed writers, do y'all hear me? Turn this on. Turn it on. Turn it on. Like, you're telling me that the one sister who can see into the future and the past, Mama can see into the past, and you're telling me that she never had any kind of vision. Her intuition that we know is good was just turned off. She said, She said, nope, everything is fine. Everything is fine. There's a dumpster fire behind me, but she's like, She's like, no, we're good. We're fine. We're okay. So yeah. Would it have been self-gain? Personal gain? How could it have been personal gain? So that's my thing. That's my thing. Is like I would add little sprinkles and touches because sometimes what I think Charmed would do is they would over, what word am I trying to use? They would overdo it with one character and then not underdo it, but medium well do it with other characters. So like we go really deep. I was going to say deep and hard. We go really deep into Prue's insecurities and her issues with Patty dying and Victor not being there. I feel like they didn't go super deep, as deep really with Phoebe's issues with Patty, but I feel like they touched on it. And I feel like they did enough with her and Victor to show us that like she still craves his love and his attention. So they did address it. Like it wasn't, I feel like it just didn't go like crazy deep, but they did enough to show us that her and Prue have different perspectives on things and just how different people they are. Prue doesn't want to talk to Victor. She doesn't like Victor. She don't care for him. She hates him. She actually hates him. And she doesn't want him to have any part in their life. Whereas Phoebe is desperate to have him be and is open to it. Not even just that. She was desperate to have him be in her life. And it didn't even matter like that he couldn't recognize which one of them was which, and he called her Piper. It didn't matter to her because she just wanted him in her life. And Piper, I feel like in retrospect, as I go back, I feel like there are little crumbs and moments that they do with Piper in regards to how she feels about them. I do feel like there are times where they talk about it even without really talking about it, and I appreciate those moments. I think that she gets lost, and it might be because she's the middle sister, right? So maybe it was intentional. I don't give the Charmed writers enough to say that it was, but maybe it was intentional that we focus more on Prue and Phoebe's parental issues, and Piper kind of gets lost in the mix. And so then when Prue dies, we completely focus on Piper and Phoebe gets lost in the mix. Because if we're being 100% honest about it, with Prue's death, we focus on Piper and we kind of focus on Paige. If we're being like a book about it, we focus on the two of them, and then Phoebe is the one who kind of gets lost in the sauce with how she feels about about Prue's death. So it's like, I don't know, man. It's like they didn't know how to balance like the emotions of three different people in depth. Like you get one that's in depth, you get one that's medium depth, and then the other one you just gonna have to get it how you live. They said, baby, we don't know. Figure it out. I don't know what to tell you. They said, figure it out. I don't know what to tell you. But no, Drea is making an amazing point. Phoebe poured her grief into Love and Cold. That's true. The point I'm making, and that maybe I'm just not like saying it right, but the point I'm making is that they needed to say that. Like we needed someone to say those words as opposed to like us just inferring that, because I think you are 100% right. Like they needed to tell us that. Not just, you can show, but at some points you have to address. To me. Like at some point you need to say, this is where why this character is making these choices. instead of just making me argue with strangers on the internet. And I'm not talking about y'all. I'm not talking about y'all. But like, I've had times where I think they did the same thing with Piper, with not really validating the fact that she wanted a normal life, because I think the way it came off a lot of times was like Piper was just nagging about wanting a normal life. Like, oh God, here we go again. Now, this is from my perspective. This is not saying that everyone thought this, because clearly they didn't, because people go up for Piper on a Tuesday. But my thing is that I feel like nobody really gave Piper that validation to say, like, girl, yeah, you should want a normal life. This is crazy. Like, that's why I think it would have been really important for Piper to have had a mortal friend, like someone who is not magical, does not have any tie to magical, anything like that. Like, I think that would have been so important, because can you imagine Piper talking to her friend who is mortal and they be like, girl, this is crazy. They'd be like, girl, you gotta do what? You gotta fight who? Because I'm gonna tell you right now, if Piper had told me, if I had been Piper's friend and she told me about that, get out while you still can. Do you need me to go do something? Because that is crazy. And see, even somebody said that they always thought that it was that they were crazy for accepting it so quickly. The thing is, Piper didn't accept it. Piper never did accept it. But it was season 8 and Piper still didn't accept it. But they made it seem like it was a negative when it really wasn't. It was realistic. Because Redred 843, she had plenty of mortal friends, but sadly no one could understand and they always ended up hurt. I'm gonna say the reason that I half agree / disagree with that statement is that while she did have mortal friends, we never got the opportunity to see on screen. And I need it to be on screen. Like, what I'm describing needs to be on screen. I need Piper to have a mortal friend, because that Piper never did Piper ever tell anyone, any of her friends, she was a witch? No, because she didn't want to tell herself she was a witch, let alone a friend. So there was never a moment where like Piper told one of her friends, like, hey, girl, this is what's been going on. And this is why I haven't been here. I haven't been here because I'm a witch. I haven't been here because I'm da-da-da-da. Like, you know what I mean? Like Becca. I think that was her name, Becca, the one in season 4 that had the baby. Can you imagine if her and Becca had been friends, like, beforehand, and like on screen friends, where we saw them hang out and she would talk to her and she, you know, would call her and whatever else, and they would go eat and things like that. I don't know who this is talking about. We don't like Prue, Paige. We like Prue, but baby, that's not. We don't do that here. What am I trying to say? Can you imagine, like, if Becca had her baby in season 4? Y'all, I'm gonna die if that's not that woman's name, and I've been calling her Becca confidently, and somebody looks it up and is like, well, actually, her name was Tiffany. I would die. I did just block that person. I want to let y'all know, so that y'all know I do block people. If you want to talk about which sister you like better, that is perfectly fine. You can do that anywhere you want to. But please, this is not the place. This is not the place. And they call me Mr. _ G. Is not the place to do that. So, what was I talking about? And so anyway, so imagine Becca has her baby, or whatever the lady's name was, because it might have been Becca, it might not have been. I'm assuming it was Becca. I think it was. That's gonna bother me because I'm gonna go look it up, and then it's not gonna be Becca, and I'm just gonna pretend like it was. Anyway, so imagine she has her baby in season 4, and I hate to say this, but who is Becca in Charmed? I don't remember a Becca. Her name is Piper. Really? Oh my God. I should have watched more than one episode of this show before I started talking about it, because I only watched one episode from like the later seasons, and so that's the only episode I've ever seen of the show. So I don't know the characters' names. I don't know who these women are. I just been calling them Mo, Curly, and Larry. I don't know who these people are. So anyway, Imagine if Becca had that was so extra, man. That was so extra. Oh god. Maybe Charlie's Angels. I didn't know who it was, but I didn't know what was going on. Anyway, okay, I feel like I've been saying this sentence for about 15 minutes. Imagine if Becca had had her baby in season 4 and she started to kind of pull away from Piper, right? And Piper is like, what's going on? I haven't really heard from you since the baby. I was going to come see her or him. I don't remember what the baby's gender was. And, or she's like, you can bring the baby to the manor. And Becca's like, no. And Piper's like, excuse me? Like, girl, we ain't got roaches. We may have a rat or two, but we ain't got roaches. And Becca's like, she starts making excuses, right? Like, she's like, well, the baby is not feeling good. She's got a cold. She, whatever, you know, blah, 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 blah. And eventually Piper is like Piper is talking to Paige. I think this will be a good opportunity for Paige to step in. And Piper be like, Becca has been the only person that was there for me through all of this. And Paige is like, well, you need to go talk to her because clearly something wrong. And Piper's like, well, I don't know if anything's wrong. It's just that she just had a baby. And Paige is like, no, there's something more to this. And I think you should explore it. And that's all I'm going to say. Because, you know, Paige will just be like, baby, I'll listen, but I'm not going to push too hard. Because y'all ain't finna holler at me. And so Piper goes to talk to Becca. And she's like, girl was wrong. And Becca's like, now mind you, this is set in a universe where Becca has been like an on-screen friend for like the past 2 seasons, right? So we have an emotional connection with Becca. We have an emotional connection with their relationship. This is in that universe. This is in that world. This is how I would rewrite this. And so Piper's like, what's going on? What's wrong? You know, why aren't you coming to the house? Why can't I come here? Whatever else. And Becca's like, Piper, I love you to death. And you know that. And I would do anything for you. But I'm not going to put my child in harm's way knowingly. And Piper's like taken aback because it's like, you know, she's moved from that phase of life where she's like a young 20-something who's still figuring it out to wanting to, you know, she's a wife and she wants to be a mother one day. And it's hitting her like boom, right in the face, that how dangerous this life is and how it can affect her and her child. And she's seeing it through the lens of Becca, who has in this universe, in this rewrite, has stood by her and helped her through Prue's death and been with her. And now she's telling her, you can't come here and I can't go there because my baby might be in danger from demons. And that's like a slice, especially that's like a slice because it's like Becca knows what they've been through and she still says this to her. All I'm saying is that storyline writes itself. The storyline was right there. But anyway, child, that's just my little 2 cents on it. That's just my little 2 cents. Not the Book of Shadows from Temu. Girl, what? They got a Book of Shadows on Temu. It ain't even gonna have Abraxas in it. It's gonna have Hate Braxas. It's gonna have Shabraxas. Melinda Warren was originally from New Jersey. Girl, leave me alone. I know they ain't got no Book of Shadows on Temu, child. I know they ain't got no Book of Shadows on Temu. Leave me alone, man. Melinda Warren. She ain't even Melinda Warren. That's Melinda Jackson. Melinda Jackson was getting burned at the stake in Newark, New Jersey. Shut up. Oh, God. Why is that so funny? Why is that so funny to me? Oh, my God. Instead of shacks, it'll be shocks. Well, that's how Patty would say it, so maybe that might be how she would say it. She'd be like, shocks. You have to vanquish. You have to vanquish shocks. You've got to vanquish shocks. And then me and Sam will come help you. When your father and I... It was after your father and I had broken up. When I was with Sam. Girl, that is tickling me. That has tickled me to no end. You do not understand how much that has tickled me today. Oh, God. Shocks. We need to vanquish shocks. And Paige was so petty. When Patty was talking to them and she was like, you blamed yourself for your father and I's divorce. And Paige was like, or whatever she was like, you had whatever nightmares or whatever she said. And Paige was like, so you telling me Piper's the reason y'all got divorced? Paige didn't care about them people. Paige said, girl, anyway. Paige said, you need to be a little bit more specific when you talking, because right now it sounds like you saying that the girl is the reason y'all got divorced. And if that's the case, then you need to hang it up flat screen, because this is crazy. Paige said, She said, I don't know what y'all had going on, because baby, I came from a 2-parent household until I didn't. Oh, child, I am so tickled. Makeup Lonnie, y'all go follow my friend. Y'all go follow my friend. If you don't, I'm gonna fight you in the street. And I mean it. I'm gonna fight you in the street, and then I'm gonna cut up y'all's wigs if y'all don't. Because y'all be gaslighting me, telling me y'all gonna do stuff, and then you don't. So I gotta, let you know I mean business. I'm talking big business. What is it that lady say? I'm talking big business. All right. Oh my God, no. Paige met Grams for the first time, and when she walked in that room, and I know she had seen pictures of Grams in the house. I know she had, because they had pictures of Grams everywhere. And my Paige Latanya Matthews walked in that room and said, are y'all already interviewing for nannies? Because Paige, why would you say that? Paige, why would you, even if that was what they were doing, why would you walk into a room and be like, are y'all already interviewing nannies? Let's not, don't play in them folks' face like that. Paige did not care. She knew who that woman was. You can't tell me that she didn't know who Grams was. She walked in that room and she said anyway, because I'm not doing this with y'all. She said, I'm not doing it. Not today. Not in the year of our Lord, 2002. Or whatever year. Yeah, it was 2002. She said, She said, hey, Med. I see you got your Med outfit on like you always do. That's what she said. When she saw that lady, that's what she said. And I will never forget that. Paige was so petty. When Paige was like, no offense, Mrs. Halliwell, but I had it, Grams, and she did not have to unalive her husbands to get their pensions. All I'm saying is, I would have fought her in the street. That's what I'm going to say. I would have fought her in the street. When she said, no offense, Mrs. Halliwell, But I didn't have wait, 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 wait. Let me go back. Let me go back. Wait, wait. She said, "No offense, Mrs. Hallowell, but I had a Grams, and she didn't have to feed me macaroni salad that she got off the street." She said, "Girl, I'm sorry." She said, "Girl, I don't know what to tell you." She said, I don't know what to tell you. I had a Grams. So, do what you gotta do." She said, "Do what you gotta do." I'm telling you, not Grams kept it real. And not Grams kept it real. And she was hugging this girl like she wasn't a part of the reason that this girl got left behind Arby's in 1977. Don't play with me like that. 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 Don't play in my face like that. Don't you ever come here and play in my face like that. I'm joking, by the way. I promise you, I'm just being funny. I promise you, I'm just being funny. Baby, listen. She left that girl behind that Applebee's and told her, "You better get a 2 for $22 and eat off that until somebody come pick you up." And then had the audacity. Oh, thank you for the company. And then had the audacity when she saw her to be like, "You must be Paige. Oh, you're a looker. I bet you have a lot of boyfriends." Girl, don't. Oh, thank you for the dog that put its booty in my face. And she was like, "You must have a lot of boyfriends. I can tell you're a tramp just from looking at you. You're just like my mother. She was a hussy too." Like that's what Grams was giving. That's what Grams was giving. Thank you, Katie, for the gifts. I appreciate it. Baby, listen. And she knew exactly who Paige was and still went up in that girl's face. Like everything was good, great, and fine. Don't play with me like that. Talking about she was real. Grams was barely corporeal, let alone kept it real. Oh, that done tickle me. That done tickle me. I did upgrade from an Arby's to an Applebee's. I did do that. Oh, that's so cute. That's such a cute little thing, the sun. But I did upgrade from an Arby's to an Applebee's because I feel like she wanted to give her access to at least a little bit better grade of food. So, that's just me. Red Dread 843 said, "Oh, Paige was well taken care of. The journey was what needed to happen." Baby, listen. Hey, if her being left in a Buffalo Wild Wings bathroom is part of the journey and being well taken care of, then baby, clearly mission accomplished because that's what happened. Oh, thank you, Brent. I appreciate that. Oh, come on, 2024. Yes. Come on, friend. But anyway, so yeah. So yeah. Oh God, I'm so tickled. I am so tickled. I am so tickled. I'm so tickled. And then somebody said when Grams would talk about she would peek, she was like, they're like, I mean, I peek every now and then. I'd watch that thing you did with your finger that day and it drove that man insane. And I was like, well, let me go ahead and close the blinds because I'm not going to keep watching this. And then after about another 5 minutes, I went ahead and I closed the clouds up. But I just had to make sure you were doing it right. I said, oh, okay. Okay. So, for the people who do not know that I am joking, clearly, I am aware that Paige was not left at an Arby's, an Applebee's, or in a Buffalo Wild Wings bathroom. I want to make that clear, because every time I say something like that, I feel like there's always at least one person that has to be like, that's not what happened, you didn't watch the show. And I'm like, baby, if you can hear me say that a baby was left behind in Arby's when we had an episode where Paige went to the church where she was left, and you think that I'm serious, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I don't know how else to. Thank you, Tarante, for the confetti. Thank you. Oh, come on, confetti. Yes. Baby, we stand. I just feel like I always have to say that because there's always somebody. And I'm not saying anybody said this in the comments. That's not what I'm saying, because I don't know. I've only looked like halfway, so I ain't saying nobody said that. But I just feel like I always end up having to say that, because there'll be people like, that didn't happen. If you actually watched the show, you would know. Baby. BB. Calm down, BB. Simmer down, BB. Don't judge me just because I only watched half an episode from season 1 and I based my whole personality on it. Like, don't judge me for that. Just because I only saw half of one episode and I don't remember which one it was, and now I just pretend like I know what I'm talking about on the internet. Don't do me like that. Don't do me like that. Drea, you would be shocked. I have had times where I literally would like make a mistake and misspeak or something like that, and I would say like the wrong word or something, and people will be like, that's not what happened, she didn't actually feel like that, she didn't actually do that, you're making it up. Baby, calm down, take a breath, take a minute. It's okay. I'm here to support you. I'm not going to, but I'm here to. Like, it's okay. It's okay. It's like I can make a joke about the smallest little thing, and people will just be like, oh, girl, simmer down. Like, right, like, calm yourself down. We were children when this show came out. A lot of this, Derek said the voice I do to mimic people is hilarious, because I just feel like that's how they're typing it. Like, I feel like that's how people do it when they get mad at something I said, and I can see them in the comments and they're just going, no, you didn't understand because you didn't watch it. That's not what happened. Paige didn't get left on an Arby's. She got left on a church. Baby. BB. Calm down. You're here. I need you to be here. Let's calm down together. Let's take a few breaths. And we'll be okay. We'll get to where we need to be. But we need to take a few breaths together. And just as a reminder, we're not here to compare, sisters. If you want to talk about which one you think is better than the others, that's fine. This is not the forum to do so. Just want to throw that out there. This is not the place to do that. Before TikTok, I didn't know how intense the fandom could be. Oh, baby. TikTok, Twitter, all of that. Because they used to eat me up. I would say a little bit of something as a joke, and baby, them people would eat me up. Well, actually, if you watch the show, then you would know this. Well, baby, I've never watched the show. If we're not here for that, then what are we here for? Baby, I don't know. What are you here for? Because I know what I'm here for. And apparently what you're here for and what I'm here for are not aligning. So you feel free to find somewhere that you do align, because this is not the forum for you. But thank you. Thank you for checking in. Thank you for checking in, Shauna. I greatly appreciate it. Greatly appreciate it. Oh, goodness. We have fun here. But yeah. So it's like sometimes I have things I want to say, but I'm just like, I don't know if I want to say it. Oh my God, Catherine is watching The Power of Three Blondes, and I don't know that we've ever taken the proper amount of time to talk about The Power of Three Blondes. And one day we're going to. Like, there is going to be one day where we are going to have a full on discussion about that episode. Because one thing about The Power of Three Blondes, I'm not going to say that low key it's my favorite episode. I'm not going to say that. But it is one of my favorite episodes. And you know how, like, everyone has, like, that one episode that just, in the grand scheme of things, is not that important, but you just find it hilarious and it's one of your favorites? That's Power of Three Blondes for me. I will go up for it. And that's another one of those episodes that, like, I fully exaggerate things, and people, I think that's why it became such a funny joke with me, because people thought I was serious. So it was one day I was like, I said the Stillman sisters were the true charmed ones. And baby, it was one person thought they were going to eat me up. How could they be the real charmed ones? How could they possibly? They're not the three sisters that were prophesied. Baby. BB. BB. Calm down. This ain't that kind of party. Bring it down. Clearly, I feel like that's one of those things that's like, clearly, it's a joke. But the Stillman sisters were hilarious. Everyone knows the charmed ones are blonde. Baby, listen. Baby, listen. And the fact that Mabel was the most competent out of all of them, and the most competent out of them, and that's not saying much because even she was low-key incompetent, but she did okay. I feel like if I feel like if Mabel had like just a few points higher IQ, I feel like they would have been okay. I really, really said, I thought it was Margot that said that the charm, everyone knows the charmed ones are blonde. I really thought that was Margot, but I could be wrong. And it was hilarious to me that Margot didn't even know what seniority was, and she was like, we get our powers by sorority. Margot, as a general rule, my love, you should not be the first one to speak. Just hush. Just be quiet. Let it go. Let somebody else do the talking. But to be fair, Mabel was trying. Mabel really was trying to get them in line. She really was. When she I'm not gonna lie, I got a little turned on. When she pushed what was the girl's name? When she oh my God, what am I trying to say? And she like grabbed her and she was like, I told you not to get with the white lighter. That was a direct order. I was like, ooh, talk dirty to me. I'm that flight that you get on. International. Talk dirty to me, mommy. She made me question so many things. I said, oh my God. Maybe I am in my heterosexual era. Maybe I am. Maybe I am in my hetero era. My goodness. If you don't follow Jennifer Sky, who played Mabel on Instagram, I would suggest that you do. She has some health issues, and I really appreciate the fact that she shares her journey, because as a person with a pseudo disability, I call it. I mean, it is a disability, but I feel like it hasn't impaired my life kind of to her like level. I really appreciate the fact that she's very open and honest about it. So, if you don't follow her, then please do so. Anyway, I'm telling y'all, the Stillman sisters were everything to me. They were everything I held dear. They were everything I held dear. when Margot got mad and she was like, "It's not fair," and she did all of that. I was like, "Girl, okay." I said, "All right, y'all got about 5 good minutes before Margot gets to slapping people. So y'all may want to, whatever question she got, y'all may want to provide her an answer because Mama looks like she's about 2 good steps away." And then Jenny McCarthy was like, "Little Miss Blackheart, girl, shut up." Like, girl, hush. I felt that, Little Miss Blackheart. Oh God, I didn't mean to snort, but I did. I'm telling you, I'm telling y'all that episode tickles me beyond belief, above and beyond belief. And I'm trying to think. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about Mitzi Stillman. When Mitzi got under that table, she said, who'd you have to knock off to get this? Mitzi, we don't do that. This isn't what we're doing here. And then she was like, oops, better get that. And my girl got under that table. And Jason was like, what are you doing? And she was like, you would have figured it out. Listen. Mitzi said, whatever I got to do. She said, whatever needs to be done, I'm going to do it. She said, you give me some diamonds? Okay, well, I got you. She said, I got you. Don't worry about it. She said, we going to be good over this way. She said, we're going to be good over this way. And I just get always so tickled about that. And then for Phoebe to be like, you slut. Girl, please. Sit down somewhere. You're just mad at that girl. Because she know how to say thank you in her native tongue. That was clever. That was very clever. Very, very clever. But yeah, baby, and them girls were using magic. They was using some magic. They weren't using magic. They was using magic. When, I mean, they had everything going on. They could teleport themselves. They were seeing into the future and spying with their little eye. Identity theft spells. Mabel was up here conjuring. They could shapeshift. Baby. BB. What is Piper's son's name? James and Thomas. No, it's Wyatt and Chris. Oh, God. Oh, God. I'm joking. Oh, Lordy. We have fun. Oh, God. Anyway. Imagine if I had just said that and just left it at that and just kept moving. Imagine if I had just said that and then just like kept on moving on. And then they watching the show later on and be like, they be like, who is this? I thought that their sons' names were James and Thomas. And then they come back here and be like, you lied. And I'll be like, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I misspoke. I love to gaslight. Because, baby, I will gaslight you. I'll be like, nope. I never said that. I'll be like, no, I didn't say that. That's not what I said. If that's what you thought you heard, then I'm sorry. Not Cheyenne, Kira, and Jake. Listen. A single mom who works too hard, who loves her kids and never stops, with gentle hands and the heart of a fighter. Dun, 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 dun. I'm a survivor. Ooh, not the end. Oh my God. Ooh. I wonder if I can delete this. Can I delete it? Because it didn't end on the note I wanted it to, literally. But anyway, y'all just got to talk about me. And I don't care. I don't care. Because I take care of my kids and I don't need no man. Oh, God. But yeah. Baby, when I tell you, when people said Piper turned into Reba McEntire, I said, well, yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that. I could most definitely see that. A single mom. Okay. Oh, I like that better. A single mom who works too hard, who loves her kids and never stops. See, I was down here. With gentle hands and the heart of a fighter. Doom, 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 doom. I'm a survivor. See, okay, I just needed to be up here. I was down here. I was down here in the basement. And I needed to be up here in the attic. There we go. There we go. We got it worked out. We just had to come together to do it. Y'all didn't help me, but I had to do it myself. But we came together in my mind. I'm gonna give y'all some credit. Even though y'all didn't help me. And y'all just told me like, oh, y'all just said, Y'all said, But that's okay. That's okay. We figured it out. We got it. We got it together as we needed to do. Because Piper was most definitely in her, thank you for the roses. Piper was most definitely in her Reba era, baby. Wyatt may or may not have been Cheyenne. Because the thing about Cheyenne is Cheyenne wasn't like dumb. She was just ditzy. And so I think people thought she was dumb, but she was just ditzy. And maybe not the most equipped for like adult life. But y'all remember when Cheyenne started drinking? I feel like adult Wyatt wasn't dumb. I really feel like he was ditzy. Because he could get it together when he needed to. Like adult Wyatt could get it together when he was like, I'm so happy to be here. He was like, oh my God, is this before or after he swallowed the marble? Wyatt, baby, at what point did it even cross your mind to give a piece of information like that? You know you ain't supposed to be saying nothing. But I guess he said, listen, Chris came back and he told everything. I don't care. He was like, whatever. I don't care. And he did that, but then when it was time to shift into turbo, when it was morphin time, and Wyatt got that Canadian accent all of a sudden, and he said, "Leave my family alone," and everybody, because first he hit him with that voice. He was like, "Enough," and everybody was like, "Oh." They were like, "Oh." When did Darth Vader enter the room? And then he said, "Leave my family alone." And he hit him with this real quick. And he just burned all them people up to ash. I said, oh. Okay. Wow. Flick of the wrist, huh? We're out. Leo can be Brock. Brock at least had money. Like, Brock was at least useful financially. He could at least sustain a household by himself. So I am not going to call him Brock because Brock was useful and Brock was present. And no. No. So, baby, listen. Wyatt hit them with that accent real quick. He said, "Leave my family alone." I said, oh, you may actually be Patty's grandson. Piper. Please. Y'all don't get me started on that. Y'all do not get me started on that because I can't. I refuse to sit here and do that again. I refuse to sit here and do that again because y'all know that I absolutely love doing them voices. And you know I love doing that. You know I love it. Piper. P. Y'all don't get me started. Please don't have me up here doing that. Please don't. Please don't have me up here doing that. Piper. Piper. Oh, God. I know you don't want to leave your baby the way I left you. Oh, God. Oh, Jesus. Oh, God. And then the first actress that played Patty, when they were down there in the water, didn't they have a fourth sister eventually? They didn't. It was just the three. And then one of them ran off and they had to go to Kentucky to find her. And I was like, dang, why are we in Kentucky? But they were in Kentucky because she had run off so she could go to a specific Walmart up there because they were the only ones that sold a certain brand of clothes that she wanted. And so she had to go to Kentucky to find it. It was a mess of a story. So she just wasn't there for like a whole season because they didn't know where she was at because she had hidden herself magically. So they just happened to see a picture that someone took at the Walmart there in Louisville. And that's how she came back. And then the show got canceled after that. So but but yeah, the actress that played Patty when they were in the water in season 1 tickled me to no end because she was like, Prue, you have to open your heart, Prue. You have to face your fear and save your sister. I was like, oh, we are pronouncing these S's. You want me to know that it is my sister. Not my sister. Not my sister. My sister. It is my sister. It is your sister. I was like, oh my God. Okay, Prue. Get out of the water, Prue. Just too hard-headed. A single mom who works too hard, who loves her kids and never stops, with gentle hands and the heart of a fighter. Dum, 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 dum. I'm a survivor. Mrs. Skywalker. Uh-oh, you married to Anakin, girl? Or you married to Luke? Which one you married to? Or are you married to Leia? Well, Leia was an Organa, so never mind. So is it Luke or is it Anakin? I need to know. I need you to tell me. And if you don't tell me right now, I'm leaving. Anakin, okay. Why is Prue not in the pic? Who is this redheaded girl? So the redheaded girl right here is actually their cousin, Jenny. And Jenny actually came to the show in season 2 as a little girl. But then in season 4, when Prue went to Kentucky to go to the Walmart, Jenny came back. I thought I could do it. I'm so sorry. I thought I could do it. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I genuinely thought I could get through that. I almost did. I think I almost did. I almost made my way through it, but I couldn't. I couldn't. I mustn't. I wouldn't. Oh God. Oh God. Oh Lord. Okay. I almost had it. I almost had it. I almost did it. I almost made it through. Oh God. Oh God. Okay. You've been on my For You page every time. Oh, I hope that's a good thing. I really hope that is a good thing. Cause imagine somebody being like, "You've been on my For You page," and I'm gonna delete TikTok. Oh Lord, I would literally, I would just pass out and just be like, "I'm done. I can't." I'd be like, "I can't." If somebody was like, "You've been on my For You page," and I'd be like, "Oh, thank you," and they'd be like, "Yeah, I'm gonna delete TikTok because I'm not here for that." Nikki V, the villain. I'm Nicki Minaj, Nikki Lewinsky, Nikki the Ninja, Nikki the Boss, Nikki the Hierarchical Barbie. Like, I don't know who Nikki V is or why you're a villain, but girl, girl, who run the world, girl? Who run? You know I'm fat, so that's all I can do. I'm not finna show you everything because I jiggle too much, and y'all gonna be like, "Ooh, do you run the world or are you the globe?" Oh God. Walls New and Firm said they are finna delete TikTok. Ooh, baby. You go ahead then, darling. You go ahead then, darling. Sorry. But yeah, sometimes the way people would say, like when Lily would get, like when he was trying to run after Piper or something like that, he would never say Piper. Like when he would scream her name, that's what she said. But like when he would scream her name, he wouldn't say Piper, he would say Pupper. He'd be like, Pupper, Pupper. And I don't know why that would be so funny to me, but when he would scream her name, he'd be like, Pupper. Like, how hard is it to say Piper? Does it really take that much effort to say Piper that you can't get that out? It takes that much to say Piper? But then again, Patty couldn't say it. But Patty had an accent that she was trying to suppress. And who's the redheaded girl? She's not Prue. I feel like you know who that is. I feel like you know exactly who that is. And I'm not going to go through that again. Because I really feel like you know that that's Jenny from season 2. They just, for some reason, grew her up during that season when Prue went to Kentucky. You know that. And you're not going to gaslight me and tell me that it's not. But she would be like, or Leo would be like, Papa. And then when he would try to be something, and he would be like the episode with the wolf, and he was like, "Where's my wife? What'd you do with my wife?" Leo, shut up. Leo, shut up. Hush. Trying to be somebody, trying to do something. Where's my wife? Anyway. How you gonna up and leave me now? How you gonna act like that? Y'all, so let me tell you this. This is not Charmed related. So we're gonna take a little break for half a second. Literally like a few minutes to talk about this. I got one of those little apps that you can like do, you can like talk into and it'll tell you, what your voice is. Why these people told me I was a baritone? A who? You said a who? A baritone? Who said no? Oh, I thought you was trying to. I thought you were trying to play me like that. I thought you were trying to play me and be like, no, like damn way you ain't no baritone, baby. I was gonna cry. My feelings were gonna be hurt. I was just gonna be like, well, let me. Oh, baby, that face is beat. Is it? I don't know how to say your name. XL the Lush, XI the Lush. Baby, that face is beat for the gods. Listen, I wasn't ready to fight. I was just caught off guard because I was like, I said it wasn't a baritone. Why is you playing with me like that? I know voice ain't deep, but you didn't have to say, oh, you know, you didn't have to read me. Yeah, me. So it was Tion. That's a lot. Said, I'm just looking at my girl Piper eating in the back. Baby, all three of them ate, if I'm keep being 100% honest with you. Like, Jenny ate. Do you understand me? Jenny had this outfit on and that red hair and said, boom. Phoebe ate. The bang is, but she looks good. Piper ate. Baby, listen, all of them tore this picture up. Cherie, who would, I don't know how to say your name, Cherie. Baby, listen, your best friend be talking about it. You need to go ahead and watch it. You need to go ahead and watch it. I endorse that. I endorse it. And if you don't watch it, I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna find out. And don't ask me how. But the charm community is very small. And trust me, I know your best friend. I've talked to them. We talked about 5 minutes before this. And they told me that you were going to be coming. And I said, okay, I got you. Don't worry about it. Hey, Nelly. What, Nana? What's my name? So Nasir is saying, Galen, did you see my answer to the Prue hate question you asked? Prue hate question? Oh, okay. I was like, wait, I didn't say I hate that lady. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. I didn't, because I really haven't looked back at that, because look back at the comments and stuff, because I genuinely was, I don't know why I asked the question in the first place, because I knew it was just gonna be like a breeding ground, and I was like, I can't do that. Somebody asked me who is Paige. Her name is Jenny, and you are absolutely right, because somebody else said something about Paige, and I was thinking, like, I don't know who this Paige character is, because I feel like that's somebody that someone made up. I feel like someone watched the show and they felt like they needed another P, and so they just started calling her Paige when her name is Jenny. Jenny was in season 2 as a child, and then during season 4, when Prue went to Kentucky to go to Walmart, they brought Jenny in, but she was an adult, and Jenny could, she had magic, and we didn't know. And so they made her a charmed one, and I thought it was strange, but I just enjoyed the show for what it is. I try not to, like, think too deep into stuff like that, because I mean, that's their, whatever, but it's kind of like this lady right here. I only actually watched one episode of the show one time in, like, I think it was like 2002 or 3 or something, and that was the only time I've ever watched a full episode of this show. I've never actually watched any episode outside of that one, and it was something about like a monkey or something. And if any of y'all say anything, trust me, I will block you. But yeah, and it was like I watched that one episode, but I don't really know anything about this show. I just know one day I was flipping through channels, and it was on TNT in the morning time, and I was like, I remember this show, I think, but it wasn't the same episode, so I wasn't really sure. So I didn't finish watching the episode because I didn't really care about it enough, but I heard someone call her like Pepper or Pippa or something like that, and I was like, I don't know, whatever. So I just took a picture of her before I, turned the channel, and then I searched it on Google Images, and it said that her name was like, it's something, I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, but it had her name and all of that on there. And so I was like, I think I want to make this my personality, because yeah. MG said, "Wait, so you haven't watched the show?" No, I've never seen it before. I don't know what this show is. I'm sorry. I've never seen. I don't know what this. I don't even know how this picture got on my phone. If I'm being 100% honest with you. Manalux or whoever said, "Why are you talking about it then?" Because I can. Because the internet is free. What are you gonna do to stop me? I can talk about a show I've never watched before. God, everyone always wants to attack me because I've never watched a show. I did. I made it my whole personality. I made this show my whole personality. And who's your favorite sister? I don't. I didn't know that they were sisters. Actually, this is my first time hearing this. I thought that these two were neighbors, and this was like her cousin. So that's what I thought. So hearing that they're sisters is like mind blowing to me. So, what is the name of this show? Is this Charlie's Angels? Is that what this show is? Oh, it's Charm. Oh. Oh. Well, I wanted to talk about Charlie's Angels. I thought that's who this was. Interesting. It's a spinoff of Charlie. Oh, okay, that would make sense. That makes sense. Gaslight is the title of this show. Probably is. Ron, Harry, and Hermione. Oh, that makes sense why she has red hair. All we need to know is that she has a hand-me-down robe. That would make sense. I want to stay here, but because I like the show, can you talk about the show? Let me just put. Hold on. Okay, there we go. All right, so that's my cash out. So if you want me to stay on task or on target, just feel free to send me a little something and I will do my best to stay on target and talk about this show that I've never watched before. And we can go from there. Christine said, no thanks. I gave you the options, baby. I gave you the options. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not living up to your standards. I'm so sorry I'm not living up to your standards. I'm waiting to hear the ka-ching and then I'll go back to talking about the show. But until then, I'm not gonna talk about it. Let me stop. Okay, y'all. I'm done. I really wanted to see like how long I could do it because I thought I was gonna start laughing about halfway through, but I made it. Okay, come on, comedic skills, baby. These comedic. I have cash. Can you mail it to me? Yeah. If you got a carrier pigeon, just do that. You don't have to put it in the mail. Just get a carrier pigeon. Get an owl. Get Hedwig. I'll just open a window. Stoop kids afraid to leave a stoop. Stoop kids afraid to leave a stoop. Oh, God. But yeah, anyway, y'all, I am telling you, I really, Hey Arnold, the Stoop Kid thing came from Hey Arnold. Remember there was an episode with Stoop Kid and he didn't leave his house and he never went past that. And they were like, Stoop Kid's afraid to leave his stoop. Stoop Kid's afraid to leave his stoop. Anyway, y'all, I just wanted to see how long I could go lying about this show to see what people were going to say and when they were going to realize that I was in fact lying about never seeing this show. Because I feel like me personally, now this is just me, I feel like this has to not be on for you to genuinely, I'm not talking about the people who were playing along with me, because clearly y'all were playing along with me, but the people who genuinely are like, I don't know how you've never watched this show, and they genuinely don't think I've never watched it. I don't know how you can see my name be The Ratchet Charmed One. See me have the Charmed Ones behind me. Go on my page and see where I've made Charmed content and be like, you've never really seen the show. No, I haven't. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, baby. I didn't know that, baby. It's news to me. I did think about, I don't know if I should tell y'all this because I don't want to leave, but I have to start my new job in the morning. Congratulations on your new job, Mia. Y'all tell Mia congratulations. And y'all better do it too. Congratulations, Mia. See, that's the thing. You can't give them context clues. You, like, because the clues are there. Like, it's not even a clue at this point. Like, it's literally just in your face. Like, it is just, of course I've watched the show. But no, they'll still be like, oh, you've never seen it. Okay. Can't be me. Okay, baby Mia is going into the new year, new job, new who is this? We stand. What was I gonna say? Okay, so I don't want to tell y'all this because I wasn't gonna do it. But I was like, well, what if I did put my Cash App in the whatchamacallit, and then people could send me a little tip. A cute little tip. But then I feel weird doing that because I feel like that's not what I'm here for. I do eventually want to start monetizing in some shape, form, or fashion, but I don't feel right like putting my Cash up there and being like, you guys go ahead and pay me, okay? Like, I don't know. I feel like I provide content that's good enough for that. Like, at least $1. Like, I feel like $1. I feel like you could send me $1. But I also don't feel like I should. So that's just me, baby. I don't know. What do you need to qualify for Creator Fund? I have absolutely no idea. Probably, baby Jay Smitty said y'all is finna address what I'm saying. Baby, let me go ahead and put this Cash App in the thing, child. Oof. God. Stoop Kid's afraid to leave his stoop. Rebecca J. Oh, y'all go follow her. Hey. But yeah, I really do think, let me say this real quick, and I guess I will go ahead and answer the question because I'm feeling generous and I'm trying not to be a jerk today. But let me say this. I really, like, I do want to monetize, but I don't, because I genuinely feel like they're gonna be like, oh, he's sold out. Well, no, I didn't sell out. Just what I'm really trying to do, what I really want, well, not trying, because that makes it seem like I'm trying to engage with people so I can get money. That's not what I'm trying to do. I do want to, like, build the fan base. Like, I want us to be able to talk and whatnot. Eventually, what I would like to do is be able to at least make enough money to reinvest into, like, buying, like, literally, I'm telling y'all my thought process, right? I'm telling you the truth. I'm being as God honest as I can. What I would like to eventually be able to do is, like, afford like the plugins and stuff for the Final Cut Pro, that, like, all the little plugins and whatever, so I can do, like, transitions, my videos and whatever, because I do want to start doing stuff like that. I want to be able to afford, like, eventually, I don't know how to use Photoshop or anything like that. So what I want to be able to do is afford to pay people something. You know what I mean? Like, if I ask someone to do something for me, like a thumbnail. I mean, even though I make my own thumbnails, you know what I mean? Like, eventually I want to be able to, like, pay people. Baby, listen, okay, buy the plugins, bootleg. That's what I need to be doing. So then let me scratch it off the list. But you know what I mean? Like, I want to be honest with you. Like, I'm not just saying, like, oh, I want to have the money so I can go to Walmart. I mean, eventually, the Walmart in Kentucky. I mean, eventually down the road, I do want to be able to. You Deserve It. You went live on Christmas Eve. You be doing the work, baby. I be trying my hardest. And I think I am going to go live probably on New Year's Eve, because here's my thing. And I know that this is going to sound whatever. And I don't know how y'all going to feel about this, but God, I feel like there are a lot of people that are in the world that we don't know what they're going through. And there are some people who I recently, like, just over the course of the past couple of, something made a noise. What made a noise? Anyway, that, like, this is very engaging for them. And so for me, the reason I want to go live on New Year's Eve is because there may be someone who is by themselves for whatever reason. And I just want everyone to know that they have someone. Because, you know, I live with my family. So, like, I have them here. It's like they're here with me. And other people may not have that. So yeah. That's why I want to do it. Because y'all hussies mean a lot. Even when y'all gaslight me. And don't think that, that lady's name is Jenny. And y'all try to talk about me because I've never watched the show before. So, even through all of that, I still want to, you know. And Charles is king. What are y'all talking about? Oh, yeah, that's is that Ron or is that Jenny? I guess it is Ron, but I want to call her Jenny. Red hand-me-down robe. You must be Weasley. Baby, the way Draco said that, he said it with disgust. He said, you must be a Weasley. I said, oh. He sounded kind of like the Sorting Hat. Because y'all remember the Sorting Hat? And he was like, the Sorting Hat was so petty. And he was like he didn't even touch Draco's head. And he was like, Slytherin! And then remember it was somebody else. And I don't remember who it was. I don't even remember if it was like a character, like a main character that we were going to come back to. He was like, must be Hufflepuff. And then when he got on Ron's head, he was like, another Weasley. I Gryffindor. The Sorting Hat was so extra. And then when he got on Harry, and Harry was like, anything but Slytherin, anything but Slytherin, anything but Slytherin. And the Sorting Hat was like, anything but Slytherin, eh? You could do great things there. I was like, why does the Sorting Hat sound like he's drunk? Why does the Sorting Hat sound like he's been drinking? And now they are entrusting him to sort these children into these houses. I think that the Sorting Hat is impaired. I don't think he actually has the ability. He don't even know who he put where. The only reason that he knows that he remembered Ron because he's a Weasley, and then he remembered. He did that with Harry because Harry was talking to him. That's it. Everybody else, I was like, oh my God. Like, is the Sorting Hat okay? Are you okay? Are you all right? Another Weasley, I Gryffindor. Y'all, hold on. It's finna freeze for a second. Let me check how much battery. Okay. Yeah, we're good. Did y'all see that, where is Prue in this discussion? Prue is the one who went to the Walmart in Kentucky And so we're not talking about the season that she went to Kentucky. And so I'm sorry. So sorry. So we can talk about the season where she comes back from Kentucky if you want to. Y'all, I'm sorry. Every time I try it, I just get so tickled at myself because I'm like, what is wrong with me today? What is the problem? But did she like Kentucky? Oh yeah, she loves Kentucky. So okay, let's talk about what happened when Prue went to Kentucky. So at the end of season 3, this is what happened. Shax attacked them, and Shax attacked them and threw them through the wall, right? And so when Leo healed them, Prue I'm sorry, I got a little tongue tied. My God in heaven. Prue got up and she was like, you know, I feel like I saw the light, and I didn't like that because I saw what I had on and I was like, oh my God, I don't want to wear this. And so there was a specific jacket that she remembered seeing on, like, I think it was True Life or something like that, because she was really into MTV. And she was like, I love that jacket. And so she did some calling around to some of her old contacts and stuff like that. And they told her that the jacket was available at Walmart, but only in Kentucky. And so she didn't tell her sisters that she needed this jacket. And so, like, at the end of season 3, beginning of season 4, she told them that, she left them a note and said she had passed away. She told them, she wrote them a note and said she had passed away. And so they, went through the stages of grief. And the whole time, Prue was in Kentucky. And she had gone to Kentucky to go to Walmart to get this jacket. And one day Piper was crying and she realized that, because she realized that the scrying crystal was circling, and he kept circling Kentucky, and she couldn't figure out why. And then she realized that she had Prue's ring on, and so she realized that the ring was going to Prue, and she was like, oh my God, that's where Prue is. And so they spent the season going there, and they would ask people around town, like, have you seen this woman? And they would be like, yeah, that's Sandy. Sandy lives, she just got here like 6 months ago, and she's been living down there, and she does some freaky deaky stuff. And they're like, what are you talking about? And so, like, they would be like, oh, sometimes when she gets mad, it's like stuff flies off the shelves. And so Piper and Phoebe were like, that sounds just like Prue. And then Phoebe had a well, she didn't have a vision. She just remembered in season 1 when Prue knocked out an Advil and the Plan B off of the shelves in the pharmacy. And they were like, oh my God, we think this is Prue. And so they spent the season like going around Louisville, Kentucky, and trying to find Prue. But Prue knew that they were there, because what they didn't know was Prue had stolen a crystal ball from an oracle. And so she could see where they were, and every time they would get close to her, she would just move to a different part of the city. But see, Phoebe got smart, and so Phoebe could see the crystal ball, but she didn't know what it was for. And then it hit her that Prue, aka Sandy, was using the crystal ball to see their movements. So what Phoebe did was send a fake vision to the crystal ball. And the crystal ball told Prue that they were going to be at the Walmart, which is no problem because she already got the jacket. So she don't need to go to Walmart. So she decided instead of going to Walmart, she's going to go to Target from now on, because she knows Phoebe can't afford Target, and because she's not an uptown girl. And so when Prue was in Target one day, she was talking to this woman named Jillian. And Jillian was like, hey, Sandy girl, are you here to buy something to go with that jacket that you got from Walmart? Are you here to buy some new boots? And Prue was like, well, yeah, I mean, I do need some new boots. I didn't even think about that. I probably should get some so that I can match this jacket. And then as Prue was walking to the clothes section for women, she saw Piper and Phoebe. And everybody stopped. And then Piper and Phoebe were like, Prue, why did you run away to come to Kentucky? And Prue was like, you guys don't understand. I needed this jacket. And Phoebe is like, well, the jacket is pretty cute. And Piper's like, yeah, but you just left us. You wrote us a note and told us that you were dead. And Prue was like, well, it was the only way I could keep you guys off the trail. And Piper was like, I can't do Piper's voice because I'll start laughing because it's so funny to me. And I don't want to laugh right now while I'm telling y'all a serious synopsis of season 4. And so they have a discussion, a real discussion. And Prue basically tells them that when she saw the light, it made her really start thinking about her life. And the jacket symbolizes more than just a jacket. The jacket is really about the fact that Prue wasn't living life and she wasn't chasing what she wanted. And this was her attempt at holding on to a little bit of that. And Piper was like, well, if this is what's going to make you happy, then you can stay in Kentucky. And so the lady that she was talking to at the register was like, well, Aaron Spelling is dead, so he can't take any notes. But the lady at the register was like, okay, wait a minute. I'm very confused because I thought your name was a Sandy. Who is Prue? I don't understand because I'm thinking that I'm selling you some boots to go with that jacket. So I don't understand who this Prue person is. And Prue was like, these are my sisters. My real name is Prue. And I think I'm going to go home now. And the lady at the register was like, are you talking about going back home to the apartment building? And she was like, no, I think I'm going to go back home to my sisters. And the lady's like, I just came to work at Target today. I didn't come here for all of this. I don't know what y'all have going on in your lives, but I'm just going to pretend like I didn't even know what was going on, what's happening. I don't have anything else to say. And she walked off, even though her register was still on, so she had to come back. And so Prue went home, and as they were all talking and sitting down and drinking some chamomile tea, Phoebe was like, Leo, there's something I don't understand. And he's like, well, yeah, there's a lot you don't understand. But and then Piper slapped him upside the face. And Leo was like, okay, what is it? What do you have a question about? And she's like, well, when you tried to heal Prue, you said that you couldn't heal her. And we thought that she was gone because of that. And then Leo said that's literally not what happened. They both got up and then she wrote you a note saying that she was gone. And Phoebe was little did Lily actually know. Phoebe was trying to gaslight him because she was trying to take some of the blame off of Prue so that Prue could feel better. But Prue knew what she was doing. Prue knew what Phoebe was doing. And it made them bond a little bit closer as sisters because she was willing to gaslight Lily. And so they kind of look at Piper because they're both like, Piper, you have to be in this with us. This is how the power of 3 is going to reform. And Piper was kind of looking at them very hesitantly because, this is her husband. She doesn't want to do this. Aaron Spelling might be dead at Walmart, so it may be a little bit of both. Piper was looking at them because she really didn't want to do this, but she was like, okay. She was like, okay, I'm going to join in. And they gaslit Lily. And it drove him insane to the point where he asked to be removed as their white lighter. And thankfully he didn't have to divorce Piper because they were common law spouses. So yeah, that's how season 4 went. That's how season 4 went. They gaslit Lily into, basically saying, I thought your shirt was the blanket. What you trying to say? Are you trying to say I'm fat? I mean, I am, but what you trying to say? You thought the shirt was so big it was a blanket? Is that what you're saying? I'm watching you. But yeah, so that's what Charmed season 4 was about. I didn't mean to give y'all that long explanation of it, because I know we've all watched it. Thanks for the recap. I never got a chance to finish the show. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. So, baby, Kalia said, I need you to rank these seasons. Let me put the Cash App back. Let me put the Cash App back in the comments. Let me put the Cash App back, because every time somebody starts spamming a comment, I'm just gonna put the Cash App in the bio. I mean, in the comments, and pin it. I did, because Kalia. I feel like if you know how letters work, how words work, you can figure out that that's Kalia, and that's a pretty way to spell it. That really is. I have never seen it spelled that way. That's really pretty. No, Kalia, baby. I promise you I'm joking. I promise you I'm joking. I'm not asking you for no money. I promise you I'm not. I promise I'm not. I'm just messing with you. See, that's what I mean. I need to stop joking with people, because I don't know who knows I'm joking and who doesn't, because not everybody knows I'm joking. Please don't take me seriously. Please. GoGoBot said, I love this show. If you are a true fan, you can tell me what happened in the last episode. I didn't watch the last episode, so I don't know what happened to give you the details of that. I don't actually know what the show is. I heard about it through the grapevine, and I just decided to start talking about it. So every now and again, I kind of look stuff up to, I look stuff up on like Wikipedia and stuff, so I know a little bit about what I'm talking about, and I just go from there. So I'm sorry, I don't know the episode that you are discussing. And GoGoBot also said, how did Prime die? Are you talking about Optimus Prime? Is that who you mean? Are you talking about Optimus? I thought Optimus Prime was still alive. But that's what I thought. GoGoBot said you should definitely. Baby, I've never seen the last episode. I don't know what happened to Prime. I don't know what you want me to tell you. I don't know. I don't know how to answer the questions that you're asking me. I saw one episode of Charmed. I saw one episode of Charmed one time. Brianna said, I think Prue comes back to visit her sister Jenny. Yes, Sandy does come back to visit Jenny. Optimus Prime crashes into Dumbledore on the way to save Sabrina from the Dark Lord. Not Prime evaporated in 11. Dev K Thrills. I would like for you to message me because you and I are really good friends. And oh God. GoGo Bot says that their favorite episode was when Phoebe was a mermaid. Um, I can see how that would be someone's favorite episode. You said, Alyssa, I was trying to be nice. I was really trying to be nice. I was trying to work with you. I was trying to work. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know. Kalia, baby, if you ask me to rank them seasons one more goddamn time, if you ask me one goddamn time, Kalia said, listen. Oh God. Why are y'all cutting up tonight? Why are y'all doing that? Oh God. I think it just asked me to invite somebody. I don't know. Girl, I don't know how this works. Just too hard headed. A single mom who works too hard, who loves her kids and never stops, with gentle hands and the heart of a fighter. I'm gonna tell y'all right now. The fact that now I'm being told to rate them, I'll never rate them. I'll never rate the seasons now. It'll never happen. I would rather my feet turn into stone because I am an independent woman who don't need no man. And if you think that you can tell me what I need to do, then I don't know what to tell you. Kalia said right, and he ignoring it for what? Because I'm a jerk. Because I'm a jerk. That's why. Okay, anyway, so if I had to rate the seasons, I feel like it would be. Okay, wait. Let me actually write this down because I'm gonna forget. And then y'all gonna be like, you forgot this season. And I'm gonna say, your face forgot this season. Just too hard headed. A single mom who works too hard, who loves her kids and never stops, with gentle hands and the heart of a fighter. Leo probably sings the Reba song when he takes out the trash. That is very confident of you to believe that he would take out the trash. And I swear to God, and I mean this, if y'all come at me and you say, how could this be better than this? I promise you, we will never talk about these seasons again. Do you understand me? I mean that with my whole heart and soul. If I hear one person say anything about this list, I will throw up on screen. And let me tell you why I say that. No, I'm being funny. Because clearly not everyone is gonna have the, like same opinion of it or whatever. The only reason I'm saying that is because like there'll be times I don't like when people be like, how can you like that? The same way that you like having lice. I just do. Like, don't play with me like that. Like, I hate when people be like, Paige is your favorite sister? No, my favorite sister is your mama. Like, what you mean? Anyway, baby. So, I don't know if I agree with this. Okay. Okay. I think I'm okay with this list. I think I'm okay with it. So, the way I ranked the seasons, season 2 is at the top. Season 4, season 3, season 1, season 5, season 6, season 7, season 8. So, if you ask me again next week, it may be different. But that's my order. 2, 4, 3, 1, 5, 6, 7, 8. Not Kalia said explain. Baby, no. I'm not. Because no. I answered your question. At this point, I'm finna put the Zelle in the Venmo. At this point, I'm finna put the Zelle, the Venmo, the PayPal, and all of that. No, let me stop. I'm joking. So, season 2 is at the top of the chain for me because I think that season 2, okay, this is why I had a really tough time because seasons 2 through 4 really kind of could have been a little bit inverted for me, but season 2 is at the top because I think season 2 is where we really start to learn lessons with them and we start to see them be shaped as individual people. Season 1, we get the basic foundation of who they are. Phoebe is the fun-loving sister who's learning to be responsible. Piper is the middle sister who's quiet and she needs to learn how to stand up for herself. And then Prue is the take-charge older sister who always commits to what she does. But season 2 is where we start to really, really see them deviate from that a little bit and we start to see them try new things. So Piper in season 2 is venturing away from being just like, oh, I don't know what I'm gonna do. No, she's trying to start her own venture. It's not a restaurant, but she's trying to start her own thing. She wants to be independent. She doesn't want to work for another person. And even though I'm not a huge fan of the Dan and Leo stuff, we do see her going through a journey with that and listening to her heart, listening to what her heart is telling her. And even though she chose wrong, we still see her going through that journey. And hold on one second, y'all, because my phone is finna do its own little thing. But we see her going through that journey. And then in season two, in season two we also see Phoebe, who probably is on my favorite trajectory. I would say Phoebe goes on one of my favorite trajectories in season two, because we see her starting to grow up, but she still got that like fun loving nature that we see, that we know. She still has an adventure and a sense of adventure and excitement about magic and about life and things like that. But we're also seeing her go back to school. We are seeing, why is this thing, girl? Oh, okay. We're also seeing her start to look for, well, not look for a job necessarily, but I feel like she's on the road to being open to a job. But she also kind of considers magic her job. And in season two, I feel like we kind of start to see them reconcile with the past. We see Phoebe reconcile with her past life being evil, which sets the tone for season four. We see Prue really dealing with what happened to Patty and how that has affected her in her life. For Piper, I feel like we kind of see her more reconciling with the present because she knows what's going to happen in the future, or at least a version of what's going to happen in the future. So we see her wanting to make the choices to get there, but also being scared to make those choices. So as much as she loves Leo, she kind of doesn't want to go down that route. So she gaslights Dan for an entire season and then still ultimately chooses Leo. So even though I don't care for that storyline, it still is a departure from season one Piper, who couldn't even speak up for herself, right? And I think that even in her saying like, oh well, I never needed a spell to tell me where my heart lies, even in that, I feel like that's her eventually listening to herself and trusting her instincts. So we get to see all of them go on a journey in season two, and that's what I love the most about it and why I rank it so high. And season two has some of my favorite episodes of the series. Pardon My Past, P3H2O, which I think is really one of the top episodes of the series. Morality Bites. What is the name of the episode? Witch Trial. Apocalypse Not. Like, it is just full of bangers. And JD said Phoebe didn't really learn her lesson. She still fell in love with an evil being. I do have thoughts about that, and I'm going to come back to that. But I agree with that to a certain extent. And I also think that that starts to show us that, or it continues on the thought process that destiny is destiny. And even if it doesn't pan out, it's still meant to happen. And what I mean by that is Phoebe still chooses evil. She still chooses the wrong path, but she comes back from it. It's same thing really with Piper. We see Piper and Leo broken up in the future, and they have this child that they're co-parenting. And in the timeline of the show, that still happens. They still break up and they still have a child that they're trying to co-parent. The difference is we see them find their way back together. So I think that's one of the things about Charmed that doesn't need to be said necessarily, that I love, that it things that are meant to be will be, but it doesn't have to be set in stone necessarily. Prue goes to Kentucky in season 4. Bree Me said, no, that's a whole other life. That's too deep to just touch on. I don't know what you're talking about. If you're talking about what I'm talking about, then I still don't really understand what that has to do with anything. Anyway, and Prue was more of a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? So Prue is so afraid of ending up like her mother that she actually does. She's so deathly afraid of dying young and not being there for her family, and it ultimately ends up happening. Am I saying that she's the reason? No. I'm just saying that's the cat. That's the cat. Anyway, and so anyway, Prue becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, whereas the other ones, that's too deep to touch on. Baby, I don't know what that means. You're saying that's too deep to touch on, but I'm touching on it. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I just blocked that person. And I feel like that was a bit extreme, but I'm not finna go back and forth and listen to you say that's too deep to touch on because that doesn't make any sense. So I'm just being upfront with y'all and saying like I'm not doing that tonight. Death visited her in season 3, not season 2. But yeah, yeah. So that's why season 2 was my favorite. That's why. Season 4 and season 3 actually, they go hand in hand to the point where I feel like they could tie for my second favorite season. But the reason season 4 takes a little bit of an edge over season 3 to me is because season 4 is a continuation of season 2. I mean, of season 3, right? So, no, they are. They essentially are the same season. It's season 3 and season 4 are basically like season 3A and season 3B. Like that's what they feel like. And I think that that's amazing because it there's that consistency where one flows into the other. And the only reason I chose season 4 over season 3 is because season 4 has to deal with the way season 3 works out. You know, like it's not like, oh, well, Prue died at the end of this and then we brought her back. It was a whole thing and now we're just moving on. No, Prue is gone. We do not have her anymore. We have to navigate the world without our sister. It's not even about losing the eldest charmed one or losing a charmed one or losing a teammate. No, they have lost their sister. This is a person that they grew up with. This is a person that I feel like Minty. Okay, wait. I feel like if Minty D Kalu, if you are trying to join the live, because I got a notification earlier that said something about invite. If you are trying to get in, please let me know. Because I don't you let me know. Like if you're trying to do oh, okay. Okay. So you were requesting is what I'm hearing. What I'm understanding. Not me waiting for an answer like I'm finna get an immediate. Girl, you know what I'm saying. I'm asking the question. You let me know. And we'll go from there. Or you can request it, whichever one. Okay. So y'all, we're finna let Minty join. Because the way I be looking at his content and be on the floor. So, okay. Invitations in. We have more people in the Hallowell line now. Look at us. We're coming.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Oh my god, why am I a box? It's okay though.
I don't know how to do nothing else. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you.
Thank you though, thank you.
Oh, I didn't know you could expand it like that.
Oh, oh, oh,
Oh,
oh,
come
oh.
on.
I
Okay.
know. Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be in the charm conversation.
Well, it's
What?
an honor to have you.
Thank you, thank you. So I heard that you were talking about losing Prue as a sister. Can I join the conversation?
Of course.
That is really, I feel like that's something so heartbreaking to experience in the show because everyone that has watched Charmed loved the dynamic of the original sisters. but also as far as like a teaching moment to make the show more than just a show, I think Prue's death was so significant. Like it was powerful. It was definitely powerful. That's
Mm-hmm.
how I feel about that moment for
Oh,
sure.
definitely. I mean, it completely changed to me. This is the thing, is like when people say, oh, Prue needed to die, right? I don't care for that because I feel like, and we talked about this, I think, during the last live, I feel like that's discounting Piper and Phoebe and just saying that they weren't capable of change, which I think had the show continued on, they were going to become different people. They weren't just gonna stay the same. I mean, they were already their personalities were changing
Yeah,
it
like
as
are you saying that you feel like if Prue would have stayed, and Phoebe would have still grown? Like, are you
yeah.
saying that Prue would have not? I do agree. I agree because just looking at the sister dynamic and talking as a sibling myself, there will be conflicts within siblings that will force one to grow and to to adjust their boundaries, to adjust their power. Like sometimes the younger siblings grow out of that. Oh, I'm just a younger one, I'm an individual myself. So I
Mm-hmm.
feel like Piper and Phoebe would have grown regardless, and we already saw it with Piper when she developed her additional power while Prue was still alive. Like that was
Mm-hmm.
nature and magic letting her know you are growing. Like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
especially with Piper, I think what always is so great to me is Piper's biggest fear or biggest hurdle was accepting that she's a witch.
Mm-hmm.
Once she did that, her power just became the most powerful, which meant so much to me because I thought that was a smart little thing they did.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I think I can see that. I think that for me, Piper specifically, I'm gonna focus on her specifically. I think she would have eventually, especially becoming a mother, would have still become independent of Prue. Like, I don't, everybody kind of talks about how, like, Piper was so dependent on Prue. She couldn't do anything without her. She was always trying to follow her lead. And the thing about it is, Piper as a mother was not going to be asking Prue, can I change my baby's diaper today? You
And
know, mm-hmm,
that a reference to that was I can think of two references that like emphasizes what you said. One being the episode where Grams came back and Piper kind of fell back into that, oh, I am the child. But then in the same episode, she understood, no, I am
mm-hmm,
head witch.
mm-hmm.
And another good point to like emphasize your statement was when Prue was kidnapped by the horsemen of the apocalypse.
Yes,
The horsemen disappeared, and Piper took charge.
yes,
Piper said,
yes.
I don't care. We will get my sister back." She took charge, so
Mm-hmm,
it was always within her. But I can understand how, as a younger sibling and as the middle child, you will sometimes be passive to let everyone play their roles because Piper also was very considerate of people.
mm-hmm.
And maybe in a way, she let Prue be the more active one because that's what she was used to, That's what Prue needed,
Yeah.
So Piper always had that dog in her. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
No, I think you're right. And I think that's why I get so like frustrated when people say that because I think that's just it limits everyone else so bad and it puts but I think the show is at fault for that because I think in season 3 specifically I don't know that they knew I think they knew Shannon was on her way out and I don't like using behind the scenes drama to justify things but I do think in season 3 they propped Prue up a lot to make it seem like what are we gonna do without her when she's gone, if that makes any sense.
That is
Hmm.
that is understandable and powerful.
Like when you watch it from that perspective, season 4 has a different feel to because in season 3 it's like Prue is jumping up in the air, kicking people. She about levitating. She's running up walls. She's doing this and that. She's
She goes
taking an
through a
empath's
lot.
power, and all of a sudden she's doing this and that, fighting an invincible demon and figuring out a way to vanquish him. And she's got the sin of pride. I mean, yeah, the sin of pride, and she's jumping in portals and all this and that. And it's like if she hadn't done all of that in season 3, we still would have missed her in season 4. But I feel like they kind of went overboard trying to make it in season 4, where we were like, oh my god, what are we gonna do without Peru?
I do agree with that. I will say that thankfully ignorance is bliss because I never viewed it from that perspective. So to me, it still felt very organically,
Hmm.
especially because mid-season Piper developed a new power, and
Yeah, she didn't get it to the end. I think it was the last, what, 2 or 3 episodes.
it was.
Yeah, it wasn't until the last, like
Oh,
over.
I hate that. I hate that. I hate that. But I always felt like what stood out to me was Piper was the first one to be able to vanquish a demon with a raw power.
Yeah, yes,
That
that is
is
a very
so
important fact
important to
to bring up.
remember.
Yes, that is a very, very important fact to bring up. Piper is the first one who, independent of a potion, independent of a spell, independent of whatever her base
Of
power,
the power of three,
she
she
could take
did
out a
not
demon.
need that. All she
Yes.
needed was her powers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That felt like as much as they propped up Prue, for me they balanced it out enough for us to also pay attention to the other thing besides just popping up for her departure. We had Piper vanquishing a demon. What else? We had I can't think of it now. But that point, that like that by itself, Piper being powerful. Oh no, the other thing was also them letting us know that Prue as a witch and as a human, she is not able to cross that thing that is stopping her from becoming truly powerful, which was accepting death. That was always something to me also that let me know that that will lead to your demise.
Yeah.
Like every human, every witch in their world, every individual has something that will lead to their demise if they don't, follow destiny according to how destiny wants it.
Mm-hmm.
And they let us know that Prue, since season one to her last season, was never able to accept death. And
Yeah.
it just became worse as Andy died, when obviously she saw her, what do they call it? Their charges die throughout the
Mm-hmm.
seasons. And I guess also the more powerful she got, the more she expected to defeat death. But no, girl. No.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Ooh, I've never looked at that like that before.
That was always
Because
something.
I think in Death Takes a Halliwell, kind of what we're supposed to take from it is that now she has accepted it, whatever else. But like you said, she never actually does necessarily overcome it. She just kind of learns that she can't fight it, which is a different thing than accepting it.
Because even Death said, like, there's something he said that let me know she didn't accept it yet. Like, she's still struggling with it.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was like, oh, yeah, she asked him, like, whose name was on it. And he
Mm-hmm.
was like, it was yours if you would have not accepted me.
Yeah.
But in her face and her acting, it didn't give, oh, okay, I'm understanding that I'm content.
Yeah.
And that moment was referenced again in the later season when Paige died and Piper was actually death.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
that showed me that Piper and Prue are two completely different people. And that moment, to me, made Piper the more powerful one. Because yes, you can have all these powers and be a badass bitch in fighting, but like there are some principles as far as like inner wisdom that you also need to acquire to really lead as the most powerful. And Piper had it.
Let me tell you why I'm laughing. Because every time I think of 6 Feet Under, I think about the fact that Paige is sitting here talking about that jacket, and Piper's like, "You're stalling," and I was like, I remember
Yes.
watching it and be until I kind of got older and could look at it a little deeper. I was like, "What do you mean she's stall? Like, girl, of course she's trying to stall. You should be trying to stall it too." And then Paige is like, "Can't blame a girl for trying."
Um, that was the spirit of Prue. She did not want to die again.
She said, "No, ma'am." She said, "No, ma'am." And
Oh,
Piper was like, "Okay, girl, that's cute. Come on, let's go into this light." And I was like, Piper, can you give her a second? This is okay. So here's my thing: is I think that the episode was supposed to serve the same purpose as Death Takes a Hallowell for her. The reason that I find that one to be funny as opposed to like a serious moment is because when Prue had to accept it, she had to accept it of her own accord about like her. It was about her, but it wasn't about her. You know, like the undertones of it was like, you need to accept this because baby, something is coming. You
Something
know,
is coming if you
something
don't
is
accept
coming.
it.
And you need to be ready, you know. Whereas with this episode, it felt like Piper was just spending the whole episode like learning, trying to protect Phoebe. And then at O.100, when it was Paige, she was like, yep, I understand it. All right, let's go. You know, and I'm not saying, but that's how it felt. I'm saying that's how it felt. I'm not saying that's what she did. I'm saying that's how it felt. It felt very much like she was like, okay, it's not Phoebe. All right, yeah, I can handle this now. Yeah, maybe death ain't so bad. Let's go. And I'm like, Piper, girl, are you okay? But anyway, that's why I started laughing because I
To be
just
honest with you, I don't disagree. I do not disagree because yes, like there was always a weird undertone between the relation. Obviously, they became stronger and stronger as sisters, but
mm,
like in real life, in the real world, there would always be the odd undertone as well. Like this is a sister I grew up with, and you are my
mm-hmm,
half sister that I'm just meeting.
mm-hmm,
So if that flaw was there, I feel like that's only natural and like
yeah,
it's it felt more real.
yeah, because that episode to me would have had a different feel to it if it had been Phoebe that Piper had to take into the light. Because I think for a character like Piper who wanted to hold on to Phoebe so much because she's that last little piece of, you know, her life before, then it would have been gut wrenching to watch her look at Phoebe and be like, we have to go now.
Yeah.
Because you know Piper has gone through an emotional journey to get to that point. But they just said, listen, if you think that we're gonna give you her trying to take Phoebe into the light, then I don't know what to tell you. She's gonna take Paige right on. She was about to throw that girl and tell her to go say hey to Patty for us.
You are so right. It would have been more powerful
Yo,
if it was Phoebe.
Mm-hmm.
can y'all hear me?
Yes.
I need to add in something because I actually love the way this conversation is going. And I was thinking while you guys are talking about how, like, so I feel like the first couple seasons set a certain tone and had certain issues that were really important, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I think after when Prue left the show, when Prue left the show, they had to kind of create this dynamic to where, like you said, Piper had to become the strong sister, had to be able to like lead the group, right? And at first she was a little resilient with Paige. But then there was this episode, remember the mummy episode where she was like forced by Cole to pick which sister.
Yep.
And when she didn't and they found a way around it, it was like, okay, now we're bridging the gap. And I know that was 2 seasons later, maybe, because she had red hair. So it was like the season behind you right there, the background.
Yeah.
But that was interesting too. Like they basically had to create this like connection, and it took some seasons and some time. But yeah,
I think that that's one of my favorite displays from Piper because that episode I think shows how smart she is, number one, but then number two, how much she had come to trust Paige. Because Piper was not about to just put Phoebe's life, and I hate centering around that, but I think the point I try to make when I say stuff like that is that she loved Phoebe to a degree where she wasn't doing anything to lose her. And so the fact that she had come to the point where she trusted Paige enough to say, Paige is going to remember this spell. Because what if she hadn't? What if she had set Paige free and Paige was like, a girl, I don't even know where we at, let alone a spell. You know, but she trusted her enough and trusted in her abilities enough to say, my girl got this. And when she released her, she could have easily been signing Phoebe's death warrant. And but she had faith.
that just goes to show you what like that season progression throughout each season. At first, I feel like they set us up for understanding like they're learning this as they go, but now they have this other sister,
Mm-hmm.
and they're kind of they're more wiser, you know. Yeah, yeah.
And really growing as siblings too, because like trust is a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, especially when it comes to life and death.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like
Mm-hmm.
in the first three seasons, they let us know early on, like they grew up together, the trust, the foundation is already there. But like an episode like this, where it's with Paige, is more significant because she did not grow up with Piper and Phoebe, but they're letting us know that they are growing not just as witches, but also as siblings.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you gotta love it. You gotta love it.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's what makes it almost sad, but not sad. Like that Paige is constantly trying to like show them that she trusts them. Like in Soul Survivor, I love my Paige Latanya Matthews to death, but my girl was stupid and reckless, and it wasn't no reason in this world why she should have sold her soul to save this man that
I
chose
will
to sell his
say,
soul.
I will say though, like I agree, but the title of most stupidest witch will always go to Phoebe. Will always go to the girl Phoebe. I'm sorry, but Paige sold her soul for a charge. Phoebe sold her soul to the ruler of hell.
So
You know
look, I
what?
want
You know
To
what?
the source of all
We're gonna circle
evil.
back to that. We're gonna circle back to that. Let me finish this because it's gonna leave my mind. So with that episode, she sells her soul, and then at the end, of course, here come Piper and Phoebe so they can save her. And Paige is like, "Well, we are sisters, right?" Girl, shut up, hush. Because but it was almost sad because it was like you can tell she believed in them clearly to come save her, but then it felt sad that she had to like
Say it.
say it out loud and prove
I
that she
mean,
trusted them. I don't know. I don't know. That's how I see
I
it.
get it. Like I have half siblings and siblings that I grew up with, and sometimes you just gotta water that seed. That seed is always there, but you just
Mm-hmm.
gotta water that plant for it to grow, and at some point it will grow by itself,
Yep.
sustain itself. But at first, water that seed.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's why it's like that moment is always bittersweet because it's like she just wants them to know, like, I trust y'all. I hope y'all trust me, And they did come get her. And I feel like she was trying to say, like, it's not just because I'm another charmed one, it's because I'm your sister. And they kind of looked at each other like, girl, come on, so we can go to Burger King before they close.
She is the youngest. Uh,
But
mm-mm.
to what you were saying, as far as Phoebe, listen.
you're gonna hate this. You're gonna hate this. Both of y'all gonna hate this. I've always felt connected to the character of Phoebe as a person, and I'm gonna explain to you why.
Ellie.
Okay, I'm an Aquarius, and I'm very like intuitive. I always feel like I'm like empathic in a sense. Another thing, I feel like I learn a lot from my last relationships, and Phoebe as a character, like you get introduced to her, like she wasn't a hard worker back in the day. Went to New York, came back. She started college later in life. Whatever. But she had this arc of a character that was like, she had a bad boyfriend and a bad situation. But I think a lot of people forget, and I commented it in your live before we all got online, but she was born in the house under the spiritual nexus. And so she's more prone to susceptible towards evil. And I'm not saying that's an excuse, but like when you think of it, it kind of is in a sense to where it's like she probably had the more quote unquote troubled life. She
It
wasn't
goes
like Prue.
deeper. It goes deeper for sure.
Yeah,
Hmm.
because Prue was a smart one. She went to Buckley and all that stuff, and Piper was the cook. That's still some skill.
The caring one for
Right.
sure.
And Phoebe didn't really have that kind of thing. She learned martial arts in front of our eyes. She learned martial arts in front of our eyes and got better after the season goes and went to school and
After she abused a spell, but okay. After
Well,
she abused a spell,
when my girl said I read the whole whatever, I think that makes me a what
a black belt
a
of the
fifth
second,
love black belt or
third
whatever, and I was
degree,
like,
something like that. But yeah,
I said
she
not
did what she needed to do.
250K for a feature no album out. Okay.
I didn't hear any lollipop.
Okay.
But I do agree with it goes deeper with Phoebe's
Sorry,
character and personality. And I feel like they fleshed it out enough, but could have fleshed it out more to really say she is doing these things because of having that white light in her and the dark light. You know?
Mm-hmm.
I do
Mm-hmm.
agree. But there were enough episodes for her to tell us as the viewers that she knows that as well.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
I
Yes.
know
Mm-hmm.
my situation and my status as a charmed one and as a child of Hallowell. What?
Mm-hmm.
So I
Mm-hmm.
need to be careful. I need to be responsible. To an
And
extent.
yeah, because they set it up even when Cole was like, "I'm gonna go after Phoebe. She's the youngest. She's the most vulnerable." I would have been like, "What you mean?" Like as a writer, I would have elaborated on what that meant in a deeper way. Like as the season progressed, before we, have her find out about Cole, I would have had him like saying stuff like he has a file and he sees that her father left. He sees that her mother wasn't there. Like, boom.
We focus a lot on like the surface stuff. Oh, who's the strongest with the powers? But like each character has like so many layers that really makes their strengths or their weaknesses, especially if you take away the powers. And with
Yep.
Phoebe, I definitely know that a weakness is, being born in that nexus, but not just that, but also her
I thought
past
you were gonna say
life.
a weakness is being born.
But also like her past lives having been evil,
right.
Mm-hmm.
affecting her current status, and I think also her strength. Like I always wondered, like, why is it that you don't have the active power like that? And
Right.
maybe it's really because of that karma, like the universe, destiny, that greater work, making the calculations at all.
Mm-hmm.
So that always
That's
was
an interesting translation from her past life having that firepower and then now being born as someone who didn't have an active power but still has a susceptibility to be evil
Mm-hmm.
with, her character. That's interesting. That's a good character development right there. That's wild.
Well, and one thing
what
about
the
Phoebe that, and
fuck?
people
Ah,
might disagree with me on this, and I don't like doing the whole which sister is stronger thing. I still don't. I think Phoebe had an emotional strength, and I talk about this a lot. Like Phoebe had an emotional strength that her sisters, not just that they didn't have, but that they could not have. Phoebe was literally having visions of people being killed in her dreams. Like this woman was
mhm.
literally like she could be at the grocery store and touch a bag of chips, and then next thing you know, she getting a vision of someone getting stabbed in their neck. Like I mean, it could just happen like that. She couldn't control it, and she can't have a meltdown every single time it happens.
Right.
She has to compose herself and be like, okay, this is what I saw. This is what happened.
If
She's
they
seen her.
were to reboot Charm and give a witch these powers, they would give us several meltdown scenes.
Oh yeah.
Because especially at this time, anxiety and depression being a big thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because
Because
baby, I'm gonna tell you right now. You tell the first time that I had a vision, as soon as I touched that pot and had a flash, or as soon as I was on that bicycle and I saw that boy get hit by that car, you take the powers, take them away. I don't want this.
She was the
that's
one
so
who accepted.
traumatizing. But I remember what her mother said, and I'm so upset that the show didn't follow up on that. Premonitions is the most powerful power.
Mm-hmm.
Mom said that, and the show did not do justice.
When Victor told them, your mother always said, because for some reason he was from Jersey, for some reason he was like, your mother always said that it was the most coveted of all the powers, and I was like, okay, why are we saying it like that? But when you really think about it, I mean, look at how the seer was eating them visions up. Look how she was using them. Like, if Phoebe had actually been able to use her premonitions the way she should have, baby, she would have ate. And I mean, she did, but I mean, like, if evil had gotten a hold of her power, like some random demon, and they learned how to use it, that's a wrap.
It would have been over. And I feel like, put me in that writer room. Because when she ended up being the queen of the underworld and having the seer as her right hand, that should have been the moment for her to upgrade her powers,
Right.
especially as a witch who has premonitions.
You know what? If we're gonna be 100% honest, oh Lord, oh I can't wait. Oh, I want to make a whole video about this. I don't even know if I want to use it right now because this was really and
Please
truly.
give us a
I would
preview. Give us a preview. Give us a preview.
because listen, I feel I feel like I would have had the seer send her that premonition of the guy Greg and whatever his name was, the one that was the innocent that Phoebe had the vision of, and that was what set her on the path to go back to Piper and Paige so they could help him. I would have had to see her do that, because then that would have been her putting Phoebe in that position to set Cole up. So your wife is now going to go help this innocent. What you gonna do about it? And she knows what he's gonna do. She knows he's gonna try to clean up behind Phoebe to protect her and him to a certain extent, but specifically her. So it's just another piece in her, because we know that, beings that the seer can share premonitions with Phoebe. So
Yeah.
I would have had her do that, like have her do it, since this was her whole plan anyway. Let her give her that vision, so that plant that vision, so that way it's like the stars are aligning.
You know what that just reminded me of? Like the fact that they were able to like send each other visions because of the branch of power that they have.
Yep,
I recently thought about it. Phoebe's next power should have been telepathy. Telepathy.
I could see that. I could see that.
Telepathy should have been in Phoebe's repertoire. Because seeing visions, yeah, but then reading minds, and truly active power, manipulating minds. Or persuasion, you know what I'm saying? Seduction. Like that's definitely something I feel like Phoebe could have had as a power.
So times where I enjoyed Phoebe's power, specifically like you said, when the seer, the situation with her, what was it? Just her being put in that position, and the seer is her under her, right? The other time was the episode when what was it, McCarthy?
Oh, when she planted that fit, when she gave Mitzi that premonition about coming to the house. Oh, yes.
That was the times I was like, okay, I see you getting stronger. Okay.
And then when she shared that the vision with the elder, and he did this weird like eye rolling thing, like he was like orgasming or something. He was like, "Ugh." So they had the hands, and he was like, "Ugh." And she was like, "What is he doing? What are you showing him?" And she's like, "Girl, I'm just showing him a vision. I don't know what you're saying." But I think my favorite display of Phoebe's power has to be when she connected with Bo in season 3 in The Good, the Bad, and the Cursed, and she was feeling everything that he was feeling through that time. Because I know I've seen some people talk about kind of like how culturally insensitive that episode now is, and I didn't really think about that. I was thinking more in terms of like the fact that she was able to connect through this man through a whole other dimension, time, whatever, plane.
That episode.
And she's stuck in this time loop, and she's like having physical symptoms. Like her power is so strong that she's picking up these psychic echoes. And my girl got shot. My girl was getting whipped. I mean, like
That should have been the moment where she should have gotten a new power. Because that's a lot.
That's
And
a
just
lot.
kind of connecting what you said, like she really went through the motion. That's a lot.
Like Phoebe was going through it with that power. Like anyone else would have buckled, but the fact that she took it and was like, this is just part of my magic, this is just part of who I am, and I have to.
I just keep adding to what you're already saying, but like, remember the episode where they're fighting the water demon that killed their mom?
And she
It's like, so you can barely go up to the thing, but you want me to revisit our mom's death? And think about all the issues with that. Phoebe never got to meet her mom.
or she was very young when she died, so she
Very
doesn't
young.
even remember her. And Prue to be like, no, it's not fair, but you have to do. Prue, you can't tell this girl what she got to do. Like it was just one of those moments where Phoebe was.
That was Mother Prue.
Prue said, when Prue was like, I know someone who can see anything. And Phoebe was kind of looking like, don't ask me why I make that woman sound like Batman. I don't know why I do that.
Yeah, I was
But, and Phoebe was kind of looking at first like, who?
You can't be serious.
Like, you can't be talking about Phoebe Letitia Hallowell.
This definitely puts Phoebe in another perspective for me. Because, yeah, that's a lot.
Not even just her powers too, but also just everything she's been through. Like, remember the episode where she went to that futuristic place where Prue was blonde and Phoebe was on the stake for,
Phoebe had to accept that she was meant to die. Like, think about like how emotionally whatever that has to be, that you have to accept that you are meant to die. And then the only thing I want to kind of slap Phoebe about, the only thing is she's in this prison with this greasy hair, right? And clearly she's in prison because she has done something horrible. And my girl, Phoebe Letitia Hallowell, looks that man in the face and she's like, well, what I did, I mean, it's not that bad, right? Phoebe, you're about to be burned at the stake. Why would you even say? I would have been like, I don't remember what happened, and just played it off like that. And
That's
he'd be
funny.
like, so you don't remember how you killed this man? And I'd be like, what? But instead, Phoebe is like, it wasn't that bad. Why would you even do that? Why would you say something like
Did she have an
clearly it
active
was bad?
power or something in that lifetime? It was something really specific. She had an active power and she killed somebody with like she like used electricity around his head or something.
Yep, psychic reflection.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm.
It was
Mm.
a thing of that empathy power, an ability within the empathy power. So it's like I just want it better for Phoebe because I feel like my girl is really street smart and she would not have said that because now you just making things even worse for yourself. Because when he was like, "You truly are heartless, aren't you?" I was like, "Yeah, Phoebe, that's what it's given. It's given heartless. It's giving, because you don't know what happened, and instead of just waiting to hear, you said, okay."
But it's interesting to see that if I remember the timeline right, it's giving Phoebe was the first to have her lesson with death.
Yep, that's what it was. That was an early episode. It was with
How early
season
was
two
this?
ish, right?
Yeah, that was the begin the second episode of season 2.
Because obviously
I was
Andy died, but we know that Prue did not accept that. So she did not learn her lesson with death. But the next one to come across death, especially her own, was Phoebe, and she accepted that. That's a big win. That's a big level up for me.
To go from playful, like, oh, did I really do anything bad, to I have to die, like all in one episode.
Stopping her older sisters from saving her.
No, stopping her older sister from becoming a serial killer because Prue put her hand up and she knew what she could do and she was gonna kill a whole room full of people, but that's neither here nor there. Baby,
No, no,
Prue
no,
said,
no, no.
I
Let's
gotta do
revisit
that.
that because Prue
Mm-hmm.
really never learned.
Mm-mm.
Because she ended up doing it regardless when Pepper died.
Prue was a serial killer. And I stand by that. Um,
Dark Phoenix.
but so what I was gonna say about what you said, so my thing about Prue with Andy dying is I think that was the first time that Prue had to, or one of them had to accept that they can't stop death. And I think, but what's interesting is I think that was a recurring theme for Prue is learning that she can't stop it. And that Andy's death was just like the first time that she really had to learn that lesson and she just never did.
But I keep thinking that it kept happening
Mm-hmm.
because you never accepted that it's gonna happen regardless. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like the universe, the elders, death, destiny is trying their best to make that lesson stick, but
Mm-hmm.
you are not taking it. And especially as the oldest and supposed to be Hadwich, they needed you to have it.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
after you not having it, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It yeah. Prudence. See, Piper, let me tell you something about Piper. Piper tried to save an innocent one time. It didn't work out. Prue killed him, and she said never again. She tried to help Dr. Williamson. Prue killed him, and she said, mm-mm. She said, I'm good.
Woo-hoo.
Prue killed Dr. Williamson. You remember when she was like, we're done playing around, and she told him to duck, and she barely told him to duck, and then the thing, the disc, because she was holding it back, and then it flew, and it hit the wall, and I think it might have hit the wall, and then she telekinetically sent it at him, but that's neither here nor there. The
Wait,
thing
who
about it
was
is,
that? Who
Prue knew
was
what was
that? I
going on.
remember it. Wait, how does the episode go down?
The
Like,
doctor
So okay,
episode, right?
Astro Monkey. Yeah, Astro Monkey is the one with the monkeys, and Dr. Williamson gets their blood injected into them. So somebody said it was
remember?
an accident. I am going to say that it was not an accident because Prue specifically said duck. Like she told them to duck. She said, we're done playing around, duck. And that thing bounced off that wall. And that
I
thing did not bounce off that wall like that. That thing was not naturally gonna bounce off that wall like that. That was metal.
like, I don't know if y'all have siblings, but like I know my older brother to be very protective. Like,
Mm-hmm.
he a clown, he be goofy, but like when it comes to his younger siblings, he'll be the first to, you get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's just the
Mm-hmm.
role and the power that he has. And I understand why Prue said, yeah, we're done playing games. Like, you are putting my sisters at risk.
Yeah,
I was raised to protect them at any cost. Like, she was really raised to be a mother.
she was.
And one thing about mothers and their children,
Mm-hmm.
I will kill you.
Mm-hmm. And I'm the oldest sibling of like me and my sister. And trust me, I would have done the same exact thing, like without hesitation. And the thing is, I want to say this for the record so people know I am joking about Prue being a serial killer. Yes, she did kill a few people during the show. But I'm just joking. I know that she had to do it or it had to happen. I'm not gonna say she did it, I'm gonna say it had to happen. And because I mean, I'm just saying, look at my girl's track record. Dream Sorcerer was in the first 5 episodes and she killed him. She killed him. She killed Dr. Williamson. She killed Sam. She killed Miss Hellfire. She killed Piper. Like, my girl, my girl was going on a killing spree.
Okay, you put it like that. Got it.
And they were all necessary,
the
but
way she sent some of these people flying. Let's talk. The episode with the stalker,
mhm,
Piper's employee.
mhm, mhm. Abby, she meant to kill that one when she flung her arm. Even in season 3, the first episode when not Piper, Jesus, when Phoebe walks into the room. Now, admittedly, I will say, in The Honeymoon's Over, when Phoebe walks in the room, she like for some reason slams the attic door open and then just stands there while Prue is reading the book. And so when Prue turns around, she flings Phoebe into that couch. And I was like, you did kind of ask for that one, Phoebe. I can't.
Yeah,
I
and then
can't.
also they were just finding out about the source sending intentional assassins to kill them. Prue was on guard. On guard.
Prue said, "Baby, listen." And somebody said, to be fair, Sam asked for death. The point is that I'm joking. I mean, it's part of a joke, but I'm saying she still killed a man. Like when he said, "This is what's so funny to me." When he said, "Now," Prue didn't even know what he was talking about. They hadn't had no discussion about that. He said, "Now," and Prue said, "Okay," and then was like, "Okay, what was he saying now too?" She didn't really do that, but I'm just joking, saying like. Prue would do what needed to be done without hesitation. Even when she had that little discussion with Piper when the essence was in her body, Prudence Aloysius Hallowell did not have to put that knife on the mantle on the other side of the room. She could have just put it above her telekinetically and then just brought it down. That's all she had to do. No, we heard ribs crack. We heard the woman's heart get punctured, her lungs. She put that thing on the other side of the room and said, I mean, she flung it as hard as she could. I was like, Prudence.
That was so cunt, though. Let's be honest. That was cunt.
Low key, quiet as a I said, oh my God. And then here comes Leo. Lily running in. What are you doing? I can't help it. Shut up, Leo.
This is the first time I think this is the first time I heard his name mentioned in this chat, and I need to say, Leo was the worst white lighter there was.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh baby, we do not go up for Lily over here. I will drag him every time I can. You can't tell me he didn't want Prue dead. I feel like he could have healed Prue. He just chose not to. When he realized it was working, he just turned the light off.
No, truly, the only way I'm explaining myself that the elders did not kill Leo himself after letting Prue die, who obviously, well, on the surface, was the stronger witch, or I guess the best weapon to fight evil. The only explanation must be that they wanted Prue to die as well.
Absolutely. I think they wanted all of them dead. I think the elders wanted all of them dead because there is no reason that my girls. Okay, so when after Lily becomes an elder, who do they give them as a white lighter? A white lighter from the future that they ain't ever heard of, don't know nothing about. They don't know if he can heal. They don't know nothing. And then when they find out he can't heal,
I hope every time that even though we think the elders were the highest, they got whispers from someone higher up, and they just took them and was like, okay, we gotta do what we got.
Oh, you know it was the Angel of Destinies. You know it was the Angel of Destinies.
I refuse to believe that the elders had the last say. I refuse.
Yeah. I feel like the Angels of Destiny were like when Prue was laying there with the wall broken,
The Herbie.
thong out, a see-through shirt, and
The
then
Herbie.
and they realized that Leo was actually hit. They said, "Turn it off," and the elders were like, "You know, this is a charmed one. Turn it off now."
Put
And
the
then
hand down.
they said,
Put the hand down. Yo.
"Turn it off right now."
I agree with that statement though. So, because there was a lot of plot holes. First of all, how is Chris all of a sudden from the future, coming to them, and the elders don't know who he is, and they assign him to the Charm Ones? Like, there had to be, like you said, the Angel of Destiny. It had to be.
Because at a certain point, they just stopped even trying to give him a white lighter. They sent that one little man. They ate him up literally, and then they said, "Okay, we ain't sending nobody else. You better just figure it out the best you can, because we not doing this no more."
They really put these girls through so much. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
But let's just agree. Let's just agree that the Angel of Destiny said no. This is what needs to happen.
Yeah.
Everything else does not make sense.
They said, but how are we gonna have the power of 3? Turn the damn light off right now. Like, I could just see it, especially that black lady, the one that was the Angel of Destiny, because when they summoned her and she was like, "Who are you to summon me?" Oh, you know she was in them boardroom meetings eating them elders up. You know she was. She wasn't playing with them. She wasn't playing with them. Mm-mm.
Oh wow.
Mm-mm.
Power 3. Paige really came and saved.
She did. My girl came in and said, "I got a job to do, and I'm finna clock in."
And she clocked in and never clocked out.
Because I'm gonna tell you the truth. You tell me right now, oh, you have another set of siblings, and you complete the charm. Oh, well, that's good, great, and fine. I'm not doing it.
You fight for your life every day.
I'm not doing it. Get somebody else to do it. Can we transfer the power? Because it's gonna be just like Power Rangers. We finna go ahead and transfer this power. I'm gonna give you my power coin. You go figure out what you're gonna do, and I'm finna go be a gymnast. And I'll see y'all later. I'm finna go to the World Teen Summit or wherever it was Jason and them went.
No, Paige really came and did her thing, like double blessed child. Like that was really her. Like she was the first of her race.
And then they said, no, Simon was the girl. Don't talk to me about Simon. I don't understand.
Half-breed, like the first of her kind. There was nobody like her. If I was Paige, I would have definitely needed one episode to expose my trauma, because like y'all are celebrating Wyatt and my birth was kept quiet.
Yeah, and that's why I love the episode San Francisco Dreaming, when she's like, I didn't get a chance to celebrate mine, so that's why I'm going overboard trying to, celebrate y'all's little bastard. And I love that. I love that for her.
That was deep. Her in the dream trying to see the baby, and she walks up to the baby and she can't see it, or what happened with I can't remember.
Yeah, she goes up to the baby, or she could hear the baby crying the whole time or something like that, and then she finally goes up to it and it's actually her. Listen, Grams and Patty dropped that girl off behind that Applebee's, gave her a 2 for 2, and said a 2 for 22, excuse me, and then said, "I'll see you later. Hopefully things go well. If they don't, at least you got some honey chicken tenders and some macaroni and cheese to
Her
get you."
parents loved her, and that's
Her parents absolutely did love her after they picked her up from Applebee's.
took her to her church so that the church could take care of her, and they did. They did.
I remember happening. I remember an
No,
Applebee's
if
being
Charm was another show, like if Charm was like on the Game of Thrones level, that whole situation would have looked this way.
Oh, her
People
baby.
haunting Paige on a daily basis because of rumors.
Mhm.
Paige was basically Daenerys. Like, she is the heir to the throne, and we need to cut her head off. Like,
Yeah.
she is not supposed to be here. So if Charm was another show, like, that's how serious I'm envisioning it. Like, it was this bad to have this child that, like, we needed to make everything happen for her existence to not be in anybody's mouths or ears. Like,
So they dropped her off at the Applebee's, and they told her she needed to be on shift, and she had to clock in. They had to get her whole W-2 and W-4 and all that. And she went to work.
That's a good point
I
to
said,
be
okay.
made though, because Game of Thrones was on it. It would have been on it, and so them having her be separated from Prue and her growing up, it's like, what were y'all thinking? Was she not? what would happen if she was with her? Would it be the power of four? What
It's
would
giving
happen?
very much Gendry, and Joffrey is gonna go send all the folks, and then Gendry had them blue eyes, and that's how they knew that he was a Baratheon. Wasn't that his name? It was Gendry.
I
I
think
think so, but
so.
he had brown hair. He had brown hair.
Yeah, he had brown hair, but then he had blue eyes, I think.
Are you
Did
talking about? Are you talking about his actual child, or like?
Yes,
Are you
I'm talking
talking
about
about?
his actual child, the one that was his birth child. No, not Joffrey. Joffrey
Oh,
was, you know, and
yeah. I thought Joffrey was like blonde, blue eyes, and
yeah,
then
yeah. No, Joffrey had blonde hair, but I thought that when they were looking for Robert's bastards, I thought that they were looking for them because they had blue. Because I know they have the brown hair. Like the brown hair is one
yeah,
thing, but I thought that
I
no,
thought it was also brown eyes because I don't think.
girl,
I
where
don't,
am I getting? I think I might be talking about the night walkers, the whatever, the street walkers, whatever they are. I might be thinking about them because I know
possibly,
they had the blue eyes, so that might be what I'm
yeah.
thinking about.
But
I love me some Game of Thrones. I be wanting to. I need to go back and rewatch it because I just, God, I
I
love
think
the
I
lore. But anyway, sorry.
Charmed. Paige. I love though that in the comics she really gets all of the powers that belong to her. Like
Mm-hmm.
that little shield, the white hat.
Mm-hmm.
She gets that. Yeah, she gets that.
Haven't read so look, I tried to, and I didn't know that they were available. I tried to buy one online a couple years ago.
You don't need to buy nothing. It's free.
Well, you gotta show me because I'm about to show you this crappy one that I got online. You can't even tell the sisters apart. I was so upset. Where is it?
Oh, oh, oh. Well, you won't be able to tell the sisters
Well, I
apart for
mean, it was
real.
a Magna, whatever you call it.
A
Well, it's like
manga?
It
them
was
folks.
so bad.
Well, it's like
Go,
them folks that had
go.
them folks that said they bought a Book of Shadows from Temu, and I was like, oh baby, okay.
Why would you do that? That's but
Oh,
no. The comics that I read, like the story was really good. You could kind of identify which sister is which by just like the movements that they would make in the comics, or like just by the conversations.
Mm-hmm.
But Paige did a feat that really put her up there for me. Like
Mm-hmm.
they were fighting one demon that had like really hard skin or something like that. So they couldn't penetrate it. Long story short, Paige said, wait, let me try
Really?
something.
Is that the manga? Is that manga thing?
yes.
Oh,
That's
baby.
it. I think that's it. Ooh, ooh, yeah.
But it's so bad. You can't even tell.
Whose face is that? Why she look like her name Orion?
Like,
This don't look like the one I read.
I don't
this
like
ain't the
that.
one. This can't be the one. Because look, who is this?
Well, girl, it's about the story.
Look at Leo.
Focus on
Not
the
as about the
story.
story. Not as about the story.
Did you read it?
You,
Yeah.
want,
Did you read it?
you want to read it?
No, did you read it?
Yeah, and it's not the same. It's not the same. It's a whole different. I don't even know. It's not the same.
So like, wait, what's the story about? Like,
So it's they're in magic school, and they meet a girl named Delia, and she's blossoming into a new witch, and they're there
never
to
mind.
help
I'm already
her.
bored. I'm already bored. I'm already bored. I'm already bored. No.
But
No.
like Delia's character is portrayed as basically what Kaylee Kukos was. She was just a new witch coming into the power, and they took her on. But the whole part, just imagine whenever you know the episode when the sisters die and they fake their death. Imagine all that, but they're still alive helping this new girl, and she's just coming to help them. That's
No,
it.
I'm gonna send you the link where I read the comics and the stories in there. They bring Prue back.
Yeah,
They
they do a whole lot in
bring
comics.
Cole back. There's a big fight. We're kind of going back into like the creation of the whole world, the first
Okay.
witch, the first evil, the first good, the
The
whole
source is a
story,
golem for
the
some
story, the
reason.
balance. We're finally getting the bigger picture of who is the balance, what is the balance. Prue has a big fight. Like it's kind. It's
I
really good.
was curious about it because Shannon Dory did a panel where she talked about someone asked like how do you feel about the reboot, how do you feel about the comic books, and she was like it was nice that they kept the story going after we stopped and brought me back in some girl's body or something.
It was kind. It was
Hmm.
literally something that Prue would do, and they kind of went back to Prue's issue. and the issue just became stronger after she died. Like she could not accept her fate, and that is so Prue. Like you really are prideful, like stubborn Taurus, Sagittarius, whatever she was.
What did they say she was? A Scorpio?
She
They
was
said she
Scorpio?
was a Scorpio.
Oh,
That's what she said. She was when he was like, I am Krell, a Zoltar. And she was like, hi, I'm Prue, a Scorpio.
Scorpio.
Oh,
Yeah, no, the comics are good. The comics are really good.
So I don't know if y'all
wow.
know what the blanket means, but when the blanket comes out, that means it's time to wrap it up.
Send me that link. Send me
No,
that link.
I noticed you getting quiet. Like the moment you went like this, I was like, oh, he's physically showing us.
Yeah. When the blanket comes out, that just means, we don't have long. We don't have long. It might be time to,
Okay, no, that is so true and so valid. Thank you for having me. This was fun, and I definitely would love to be here again. This was so nice.
Send me that link if you get a chance. I would love to look into that, and maybe we can talk about that later next time.
Let me follow you so that I don't lose you.
And Dev K Thrills, listen, you are my new best friend.
I love watching your TikToks. You were so awesome. It's nice to hear.
I am. Thank you. No, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. But no, y'all have been amazing. Thank you.
No, thank you for having us for real. This was nice.
You're so welcome. I'm so glad. Listen, I'm just glad to have a community that we have, like, we can come together and we can discuss. It'd be some people, like, the reason I don't really accept a whole lot of, like, requests to come on is because some folks just be. And so, yeah, I just be like, so it's very, I don't have a lot of people on a lot of the time.
No, you said it all by saying nothing. But
And
no,
sometimes I just don't look. Like the one came up for you earlier, and I thought it was a mistake because I was like, ain't no big channel finna be trying to talk to me, child. Like that was what I was thinking. Was like, ain't no big page finna be trying to talk to me. And
Are
so
you serious? Like you are
I'm
the
dead
perfect
serious.
for real.
I promise you, like I'm not being funny. I thought it was saying like invite, like it wanted me to invite, and I was like, I don't know.
No, I deliberately clicked. Oh, I want to be in that.
Thank you.
Let me say one thing before you go. So the TikTok you made where you're in the car driving and you were like, the Charm Ones before they met Paige. Someone sent me that a year ago before I even knew who you were. And I reshare it every year when it comes on my TikTok. I'm like, that is so funny because it was so.
Because I'm so glad you brought that up. That is an iconic Charm TikTok video. Because yes, that's so embarrassing though.
It was racing.
It's so funny because I almost did. I remember specifically. I know this. I almost did not post it. I remember being like, "This is stupid," and then I did it, and I like didn't even go back to it because I was like, "I know I'm gonna watch that." And then like the notifications started like coming in, and I was like, "I said, am I the drama?"
We was with you. You are the drama because we was with you.
Listen. Who would have known? Who would have known that talking about them before they met that lady in Kaora places and had to stop at 7-Eleven and gas up to go fight demons.
Somebody shared it on Facebook and they got like 7,000 likes and shares.
Oh,
yes, your TikTok. It's on Facebook. If I find it, I'll send it to you. But yeah.
Please, child, listen, not me being the king of Facebook, child.
Come on now. Charmed is yours.
Oh, thank you. It's mine for the taking.
All right, y'all. I'm going to be out.
Yeah.
Love y'all.
It's been great talking to everybody. I'm finna go to sleep.
Good night, y'all.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.